Freaking out, man. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. What do all men power want? More power.
My name is Gianluca Zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid. You work for us. We're not.
In this budget, we're helping low-income working Californians.
That includes residents living in California illegally. In a deal hammered out Tuesday, Democratic Governor Jerry Brown agreed to provide health care to illegal immigrants under age 19.
At the end of the day, if we don't have these young people that have the access to their health care, they're not going to be able to be productive.
The democratically controlled legislature originally wanted all eligible illegal immigrants covered, but backed off because of cost. They eventually agreed on $130 million, paid by state and federal taxpayers.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on KTOX 1340 AM and on United States.FM network. This is a very important show. I would call like almost, a desperation message. I'm trying to pretty much give you my warnings and more important, try to give you my maybe solutions, okay? We are under attack. This country, state, local, we are under attack in every angle. And what I just played for you right now was just part of Fox News, or at least some mainstream news, pretty much reporting the facts that California is going another level deeper to hell, okay? Now, I don't know how many millions, I think 130 millions or whatever, of tax dollars, they're going to be given to illegal alien children. I mean, think about it. I mean, the state of California is already broke, okay? I don't know how much they can pretty much milk the cows called taxpayers to have an extra 130 million given for the health care for illegal aliens, okay? Under 19. Of course, they want to try to give them to everybody. There is a point that I really believe that this is called a mental disorder. And if they want to call themselves liberals, I call themselves fascists, because pretty much they're stealing with force from others to give to somebody else that doesn't deserve anyway. It's called liberalism. That's fine. And guess what? It's a mental disorder. I believe that now. And I really believe also should be heavily medicated. And I do not believe in forced medication. But since this disease can be so self-destructive to the rest of society, I would at least start with a forced quarantine. So please, if you are in California and you like the way it is, and you decide for any reason to move to Arizona, stay there. Force yourself in quarantine, okay? So this is the point. I need to go quickly through some news, and at least to let you know exactly the biggest events of the last few days. Okay, California with the illegal aliens, healthcare, free healthcare, it's kind of insane. That's nothing yet to add, okay? Now, as federal level, think about it. The IRS pretty much now is being proven, it's a fact, that all this situation with these subpoena records, these emails, over 24,000 emails, that they were pretty much destroyed. And they destroyed also the backup, okay, of these emails. Now they have the proof that they've been destroyed. Now, if I do that, if you do that, if any one of us does during investigation, they pretty much destroy evidence. I mean, think you will be gone to jail. We will be gone to jail for so much less. Instead now, look at this. We have pretty much the IRS deleted backups of 24,000 Lois Lerner emails months after the subpoena. That's so important. And why this is so important? If you're a Democrat and if you believe your guy is doing the right thing still, this is about the rule of law. This is not about which party are you. Because if you condone this type of criminal behavior, just because somehow you think they're your guys, next step is going to be somebody else from the other puppet parties. And what you going to do? What is right. What is wrong. These people are criminals. And the problem is that the rule of law is not applied to everybody equally. There are two different types of reality. The slaves, that you just throw, a butt of the cigarette on the ground and you go to jail. And then there are the elites. That pretty much the laws does not apply to them. So this is something to consider. Think about it. What you going to do? Tyranny is on your face. So IRS, Supreme Lord, can destroy every record when subpoena and nothing happens. Try to destroy your record, tax records, if they give you, an audit. Let's see what happens to you. Anyway, that's another little important thing. Now, meanwhile, think pretty much about the other big picture. Let's look at the TPP. I talked with George Bernstein like a few weeks ago about when we were trying to stop this TPP. Guess what? TPP, this Trans-Pacific Partnership, is passed. Pretty much now, they have created, both parties, but now think about it, especially the Republican Party in this one, think about it, gave unlimited power to Obama or any other president. To do what? To destroy everything that's left of our sovereignty. So this is so important. And the people, they've been trying to pretty much, make their voice heard. They don't care. And let me tell you also why it's so important. These corrupted bastards, and I completely, I am not for bashing one side and leaving the other one away. Republicans, I bash them even worse. Because at least the Democrats, normally, what you get. The Republicans, you try guys to elect them, try to bring them into office, try to give them the opportunity to clean the mess that Obama has been doing, instead of be backstabbing us over and over, even worse. So think about it. Now, pretty much, with a vote of 60-38, the Republicans help Obama to become the new dictator with this TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership. Now, pretty much, let me tell you, if you read, write, publish, think, listen, dance, sing, or invent, if you farm or consume food, pretty much the TPP has you in its crosshairs. This is directly from WikiLeaks, okay? Because the problem is so secret, this TPP, that we slaves, we are not even allowed to read it. Think about it. If you support this, let's say you're one of these zombies out there that you believe everything the Republican Party or the Obama administration say, how can you support something that you don't even are not allowed to read it? Think about it. So, another piece of history, another piece of sovereignty gone into the toilet. So, and I'm not trying to be negative today, but I'm trying to give you pretty much what's going on, okay? So, TPP is gone. Sovereignty is pretty much almost gone. NAFTA and CAFTA already destroy our businesses, our small businesses, our jobs in America, and now TPP is going to be the last stake in the heart of this republic. Now, special thanks to Paul Ryan, Bonner, Ted Cruz, Mitch McConnell, and all these other bastards that are supposed to represent us and fight the evil called Obama. Instead, they're in bed together, probably having an orgy. Talking about orgies, talking about gay. I couldn't care less about if you're gay or not. You know that. You know how I feel about it. I respect you for what you are. Just respect myself. Respect others. We respect each other. It's such a sad thing to see now this big division over this gay issue. Yeah, the gay marriage. Now everybody, even the gay people are slaves because they can get a license, okay? License means that you have not the right. It's a privilege. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a license. You go to the state and you get your license and you can get married. If you're happy with that, good. I couldn't care less. I know many Republicans say, oh, my God, you know what? Why should we care? All I care that you're over 18. All I care that you do not use coercion. All I care that you don't use a tax dollar. Of course, unfortunately, it's going to become part of my welfare. And all I care that, at the end of the day, you don't do it on my face. But the idea is, unfortunately, is a very much deeper problem. Because now we have selective, pretty much, enforcement of the 14th Amendment. If everybody is protected under the law, guess what? I want to have now 4 wives. Did you hear me right? If you're a gay, you're a lesbian, and you think now you're happy, you achieve your goal, good for you. You know what? Good. Just don't do it on my face. I'm fine. Because even if I have a woman, I'm not going to do it on your face. We respect each other. But at the same time now, why should I go to jail if I want to marry more than one woman? Where is the justice? Where is the fairness? So now we open this door. I want to marry 4 women, maybe 3, because, this economy sucks. So thanks to Obama, I can afford only 3. So I want to marry at least 3 women, and of course, I want to mind my business, and I want to get a license for this. And if any of you, by the way, I want to do also some affirmative action here, so I will marry at least 1 black, 1 blonde, and 1 red hair. So everybody is happy. Now, if you have a problem with that, any of you that will support gay marriage, I don't care if you're straight or not, you're an hypocrite, and you're a bigot, and you're a racist. Because I deserve to have at least 3 women, okay? That's the bottom line. That's the logic, and that's the moment that we should start to really, at this point, do it. Okay? Yes, if you can marry a man, I want to marry 3 women. By the way, even if I had to marry, I would never ask for the permit to the holy state. The marriage is supposed to be something the state is away. It wants to be like a witness as of our commitment, that's fine. But I do not need to ask any permit. In the moment that I ask for a permit, I give power to the state. He can say also no. Don't forget, licenses for marriage, they were issued just after the Civil War to stop and to try to control interracial marriage. Now we are so brainwashed, we think it's normal. Okay? Anyway, that's just another little part. Meanwhile, of course, we are fighting over the gay story, the gay marriage. They're destroying our country with the TPP. The IRS is pretty much laughing at us at the rule of law. But another thing, things are not over. Things are not over. Now, even at local level, think about there is no much difference at all. Mojave County, Arizona, we have all Republicans in office at county level, our county supervisors. And they just voted pretty much a few days ago that, not all of them, but 3 against 2, that it's pretty much almost a right for the taxpayer, even if you don't have taxes, you don't pay taxes, you still get a right to have a public cable. So the county now is pretty much has been for many years in this broadcasting. They use it for emergency, they say, but pretty much also for entertainment. And we are paying with our tax dollar. If this is like a new Marxist manifesto in Mojave County, now we are forced to pay with our tax dollar for entertainment to others. Shame on you, every Republican who voted for this travesty, okay? So there is not really much difference. Not only they voted for that, but also they want to spend an extra $100,000 for it. This is a Republican administration. The only people that they stood against was Supervisor Stephen Moss, who's been a guest several times, and also Supervisor Hildy Andrews. Okay, so that's the story to show you that we are screwed not just at federal level when we have our guys in office, but also local level. Okay, now more bad news. Unfortunately, this is all bad. Forced vaccination. You know what? In California now, slaves pretty much are forced to vaccine their children. You like it or not. There is no more any type of religious or exemption or personal beliefs. All children that would be required to have vaccines attend the school or daycare. And that's pretty much it. SB 277. How do you like that? How do you like that, slave? Meanwhile, people they start to say, we got a vaccine, so, we don't have all these diseases, and I feel protected. You cannot, endanger me. Okay, let me use your logic. If the vaccine you think is so powerful and can pretty much stop this problem, vaccine your butt and leave me alone. You're protected. Leave my children alone. And by the way, you know what? There is a difference between vaccinating when you live in a third world country. We're supposed to live in America. Of course, they are making it transform it. They're transforming a third world country. Of course, all the Guatemalans and different people come with the buses thanks to the Obama administrations by hundreds of thousands the last few years. Yes, they don't give a screening. They don't give any type of things. And they bring them straight to school. And then we get all the diseases. And then they need to say, we got a vaccine. No, I refuse to have any forced vaccination, And if there are some vaccines that are good, we can talk about it, but you give me the information, then I decide. This is my body, okay? That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. And by the way, inform yourself. It's a scam. I don't have enough time. I will bring more experts on the show. I already did in the past with Dr. Rowan. But the vaccine is a scam. Is a scam. By the way, there is immunity by the vaccines. And all the Democrats think that the vaccine is so great. Don't forget it was Bush giving complete immunity to these big pharma companies producing vaccines that pretty much you can even sue them if they put some poison into you. How good is that? Go figure it out, okay? So anyway, that's another important thing. Now let's talk about flags, the flag with the flags with the Confederate flag. You know what? This is insane. Now, because a crazy person on medication, let's not forget. South Carolina shoot innocent people and waves the flag from the heritage of the Southern. You know what? All the flags are banned. And look, Amazon, according to records and data, that pretty much now cannot sell anymore these flags because the government said no. This is like 1984, my friends. And if today they can do that to a flag, that you may like it or not, tomorrow they can do to a book or maybe to a word. So think about it. Anyway, by the way, if you believe that the Confederate flags must go down, I tell you, really, I say no until the communist flag is allowed to fly in this country. Remember, communists kill millions of innocent people. Not until you can burn an American flag. Not until you can pretty much make it illegal to display a photo of Jesus in a museum in urine. So screw you. I will buy today a Confederate flag and I'll fly on my home. Okay? So freedom of speech is not selective, applies to everybody. But we must have some solutions, and we'll talk about solution at the final hour. Meanwhile, I want to share with you a special guest, a great lady, an activist in freedom. Her name is Alma, and is from Arizona, my great state of Arizona, and with an important event that I really think is going to help us out to find each other and try to get together, try to find solutions, and there is a solution. We are individuals, but when we unite as a group made of individuals, we can face the evil in much more effective way. And we will talk about this right now with this great lady. And of course, don't forget, second hour we have a lot of guns and training, and also we will have also final hour of love, a lot of surprises. Okay, so don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Here we go with Alma after this break.
Have you ever met someone on an online dating site and thought, wow, this guy is perfect for me, or she is simply amazing, only to find out they were hiding a deep, dark secret? They plan to vote for Hillary. FreedomLovers.us was created for singles who want to exchange ideas and a love for freedom. People who are looking for solutions to create and defend freedom in the real world, and at the same time, getting that once-in-a-lifetime chance to find their true soulmate. Whether you are interested in meeting your soulmate, making new friends, networking, or hanging out with that like-minded liberty lover, visit FreedomLovers.us. It's the first free dating site and community. So patriots, don't waste your time with other dating sites. FreedomLovers.us is the place where like-minded singles really click.
Here we go. This is Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on KTOX 1340 AM and on UnitedStates.fm network. We've been talking so far about how really in deep, I cannot say the word S, but you understand how really bad we are as country, as individuals. More than ever, our rights, they are pretty much going down to the toilet. And I proved before to you exactly just the last week all the events that we are facing as individuals. Now, I'd like to find solutions because, you know, and I will talk more about pretty much my humble opinion, what we can do to regain our sovereignty and our freedom of as individuals. Now, I like to find also solutions from people that they think like us, like me, and they try to do something in our communities to create environments that we can find each other, where we can find freedom-loving people, that we share the same values. It doesn't mean that we need to agree on everything, but at least we can start from a place that we respect each other for our individuality. Now, I have a person that I had the pleasure to meet almost last year during Mojave County chemtrails meeting in the county, and she's a great lady, and I respect her very much. You know, she drove all the way from across the state just to be present, to try to bring awareness about the weather modification in front of a panel here in Mojave County of legislators and bureaucrats. Anyway, let's go stick to the point. Her name is Alma, and she's one of the people, I don't want to say she's the organizer or not, she'll tell us, but one of the people behind this great event is called the Jackalope Freedom Festival in Arizona. Alma, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Nice to meet you again, and I really appreciate you being on the show. And you know what? I want to give you the floor because you're the best person to, first of all, tell us a little bit about you, and more important, also tell us about the Jackalope Freedom Festival. As I said, we need to find solutions against this tyranny, and I think the best solution is start in our communities to stand the line where we live with like-minded people. Go ahead.
Okay, so I've been a liberty activist for going on 8 years now. I am local of Arizona. I've been there since I was a small child, so I've grown up there and in the valley, Scottsdale and Mesa and Tempe, all over the place. And I started getting involved in politics when Ron Paul ran for president. And that's kind of what started really getting me awake about the Federal Reserve and putting money out of thin air and, you know, all that stuff. So I, at that point, started wondering, you know, what can I do to get involved? And I got, you know, sucked into politics and voting and all that, but going to all the Republican meetings and conservative this and conservative that. And I came across a group of people that were making signs for the movement. And there was a hub kind of downtown in Phoenix. And it was being supported by Freedom Phoenix. I don't know if you know Ernest Hancock.
Yes, I know very well. I read this newspaper online every time I can. Great information.
So I met a lot of activists that way, hanging out down there, making signs. And it wasn't too long after that that I attended my first event at Pork Fest. And that was in 2011. And when I was there, I couldn't help but, you know, want something like that to exist in Arizona. So when I came back, I got on Facebook and I created a group called Scorpiopine Freedom, or like Scorpiopine Freedom Festival. So like a porcupine and a scorpion mixed together.
Yes.
And at first I called it Pork West, but I got some beef from the Free Staters, you know, about that. And it was funny because I had just learned about copyleft and open sourcing ideas from being at Pork Fest. So I thought everyone would be excited. I was so inspired. But some people were, some people weren't, I don't know. But Scorpiopine was the first name, and then the group was created and people started joining it, and different activists that I had connected with over the years, and sooner or later it became Jackalope. So there was no one person or group of people that are in charge of Jackalope, but it's more of an event that is free for all to come. There's no registration fees, no camping fees, no vending fees. So you get there, first come, first serve.
Wow.
There's hundreds of miles of national forest.
Okay,
so
let me ask you.
This is unlimited.
I like this. So let me understand right. First of all, this is a spontaneous event, okay? There is no like really a head, like the organizers. Like the organizer, normally what happens when there is the organizer, you know, when the cops arrive, who is the organizer here? Everybody, correct? Am I right or wrong? This is the state of mind. Everybody is in control of themselves. They are responsible for their own actions. So there is no one head to chop. We are all heads in some way in our own families or in our own bodies. Good. Now,
and how we also benefit from that, though, in this type of environment is when somebody violates the non-aggression principle, they don't run to just, you know, a tiny group of people that is like security to say, oh, I was aggressed upon, and now only this tiny group of people know, and then they go tell maybe like the president of this group, and then they all try and keep a secret and deal with it privately. It's not like that.
Yeah. So
if somebody violates the non-aggression principle, everyone knows.
Yeah, so this is a public event where everybody is welcome. Of course, it is a common sense to spread a voice, but at the end of the day, everybody is responsible for their own actions. Let's start to, first of all, to see exactly when and where. When and where this event, the Jackalope Freedom Festival. We're talking here on the air with Alma, one of the individuals who's promoting this great idea. Where and when?
This is the fourth year, and it's always the first weekend of August. So this year we're actually, there's no official dates really. You can come early, you can stay late, but people will probably start showing up around July 29th through August 3rd. That is the main event time period. So
okay, and you have a website where people can also see the map. I'm right now on your website, and it's can you say the website? You say better than me with your accent. Please go ahead.
Jackalope Freedom Festival.com.
Perfect.
There's a Google map on there that I've made very specific to Baca Meadows because Like once you hit Payson, if that's the way you're coming from, and you go 40 miles east on the 260, after you leave the 260 to go towards Black Canyon Lake, if you're coming from Forest Lakes, it's a 7.5-mile drive off the freeway on a dirt road. So I highly suggest you come when it's still light out. Don't try and set up when it's dark. People get lost every year, even people that have been there before.
Understandable, very important, yes. And it seems like I'm looking at some photos. The road is a dirt road, but seems like a good road. It doesn't seem like you need a four-wheel drive, right?
No, cars and RVs both make it in. If you're coming with an RV, there's a more flat, straight-on route in from Heber Overgard.
Okay, perfect. Now, this is so important because what I like about these ideas, as I was saying before at the intro, we need to find solutions. First of all, I really think we need to try to find each other just for the pleasure to have like-minded people around, because otherwise, we go crazy. At least speaking for myself, I go nuts. If I don't find sometimes people that I can relate to, and I don't need every time to explain or try to defend my position or even just to be around, I go really nuts. So I think it's good for your mind, it's good for your heart to be surrounded by freedom-loving people. That's the number one benefit, I would like to say. But number two, I really think it's so important, and I tell you, I got really inspired a lot. You shared at YouTube just a few days ago about another similar event in New Hampshire, correct me if I'm wrong, and there was this sort of, interaction between two tax agents to try to pretty much come into this private event and to try to harass people about licenses, permits, and all this stuff. And I really saw that the simplicity. We have the answer to tyranny in front of our eyes. It's called we the people. As individuals, but the moment that we unite, we become the biggest, the strongest threat to tyranny. And you don't need to be violent. All you need to stand up as a human being, stand up not as a slave, and start to speak up. And you see how these roaches start to squirm into their suits, and they start to look around and say, wait a second, these slaves, they are waking up. And nobody, that was important for me. Because we have all these, layers of bureaucrats and policies and regulations and crap that we are eating every day, and we let them do it because we are so stupid that we don't want to understand. We have more rights than they let us believe. So I think that's so important. That's why I think this event, start to get together with like-minded people, is the key at local level to fight tyranny. What do you think about this? Am I too extreme?
No, not at all. I might even be more extreme.
Good.
One thing I heard Larkin Rose once say, he wrote a book called The Most Dangerous Superstition. He says, can you give a right to somebody else that you don't have?
Mm-hmm.
So as far as taxation goes, who actually has the right to take from another human being their hard-earned whatever livelihood?
And this is beyond taxation. There's some form of taxation that they were, in part of the Constitution. I'm talking about here on a private land with individuals with free will that they want to interact in a way of trading or exchanging a favor or a service for whatever. Leave us alone. I mean, really, who is damaging anybody? I mean, we're here for free will.
Yeah, we should definitely have the right to opt out. And if you want to provide some kind of service to people and they want to voluntarily partake, then fine. But if we're free, we have the right to opt out. And I don't know if you know this about me and Brian. Brian is my significant other.
Mm-hmm.
We have a son. His name is Neo, and he was born free. He does not have a birth certificate or a social security number.
Wow, this is pretty interesting. I like that. Explain more about that.
He was born at a hospital in Gilbert.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to have a home birth, so after 14 hours of labor, he didn't want to come out. We went to the hospital. I refused the birth certificate, and I refused the social, and I even spoke to a social worker who could not tell me there is a law that forces me to make an agreement between me and the state for my child.
Mm-hmm.
There is no law. So I really, really like to tell people that we are in the most free country in the whole world, and entering into the system is completely voluntary.
I agree with that.
You do not have to do it.
Yes.
You don't have to work in it. You don't have to put your kids in it. You don't have to send your kids to their educators. You don't have to do any of that. And you are free to opt out.
Yeah, and of course, now this freedom slowly, you look at so many states, you start to say and act like you did, you're going to have the CPS at your door and they will knock you down and steal your children. You know also that. I mean, this is still Arizona and maybe we still have, I'm sure, you tried it, you still have some rights. But this is only a question that they never stop. I mean, now in California, if you want to send, of course, the child to the public re-education camp called public school, you must submit and give them a vaccine. At the same time, I would never send them to a public school. At the same time, though, they're stealing your property taxes to pay for that school. So it's kind of stressful, all this. But I agree, we have more rights than we are aware. That's a fact.
Absolutely.
And my only thing is this one, and don't get me wrong, I completely agree with you. The only thing I have now at this point, think about it. You have a child that has no birth certificate, and that's great. But they try to, under color of law, they try to make it like almost there was no alternative. You need to have a birth certificate. Now, when this child is going to grow up at this point, let's say he needs to go around and maybe he wants to be a different person, maybe he wants to work in the system. How is going to prove that was even born in America?
Well, we live in the 21st century, so we have video, and there's also a midwife who was at the hospital. There's hospital records. There's a doctor who delivered his birth.
So you have proof.
Both of them are willing to sign an affidavit of birth, which I haven't done that yet, just because Neo is an undocumented human. So once we do get paperwork for him, whether it's our own or someone else's, he does become documented at that point.
Okay.
And I would really like to create a life where he does not need paper to declare his independence or to prove who he is or how old he is or, that sort of thing. I mean, if someone requires that of him, it's his choice how he's going to negotiate with them in the future. But I'm an agorist. I've been an agorist for many years, and I work in the counter economy. I accept alternative currencies, silver, gold, Bitcoin, barter trade, among others. And
wait, you're competing with the private bank that has the godly power to create money out of thin air. Now you're doing a competition. You want to have alternative currencies. That's highly a terrorist act. You know that, and I'm being sarcastic. Anyway, listen.
I consider it free.
I agree. People unfortunately think sometimes, if you're listening for the first time to the show, you think, what are you talking? Are you freaking crazy? Now you don't want to have our dollars. First of all, it's not our dollar. It's called Private Federal Reserve. It's a private central bank that pretty much stole the power, the sovereign power of the state, of us as we the people, to create a currency backed by gold and silver. These are a bunch of international bankers. They are like pirates on the high sea. But that's another story. Now, this story here is very simple.
I don't even call them dollars anymore. I call them FRNs.
Yes.
People always say, what's an FRN? And I say, it's the Federal Reserve note. Look at the money you're using,
Exactly.
And that's I really like to reach out to business owners that come here from other countries because they have so been fooled. Mm-hmm. I mean, America, they've been indoctrinated from like day one, and there's schooling and things like that. But people that come here from other countries, I really feel sorry for them because they come here and they have to get permission from the state to exist as a business, and they have to pay all these taxes and just have their livelihood stolen from them when it was just being stolen from them in one way, shape, or form, in another area of the world. I don't know. I think it might be smarter for people to move to remote areas, build small communities, and live amongst themselves and grow their own food.
And I agree with you because I tell you, I have the experience to come from another part of the world, exactly Italy. And believe it or not, as bad things are right now here, that's like 20 times worse, okay? And I'm not trying to say that now because they're a little better or they used to be a little better, they are good enough. No, I'm not settling for that. At the same time, I tell you, I agree with you. It's time to regroup and to regain control in our own, wherever we are. Because at this point, the system that they set up is collapsing. It's proven. It's pretty much prop on sugar, and there is no more a skeleton, okay? It's like a jelly. This false economy, this monopoly of a central bank to prop currencies and pretty much manipulate metals and silver and gold and everything else, and this phony capitalism, because this is not real capitalism, this is cronyism, this is fascism. As Mussolini used to say, the union between the state and big corporations, it's called fascism. That's what we're living. It's not a free market. So it's going to collapse. So it's time to start to organize like you're doing, like you and many other people in different parts of the country are doing. And I really believe that this Jackalope Freedom Festival, it's a great event. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's good because you start to know each other and you start to create your own community where you start to have still keeping your individuality, but at the end of the day, we need to unite, or at least we should unite, to defend our individual rights. Because the evil pack of coyotes, for me, they're like coyotes, these government leeches, they are very much cowards. They hide behind the badge, and sometimes they're behind the empty suit. And they feel strong because they normally pick their little prey one by one in the middle of the night. And they start always with the weakest. But when they start to realize that there is an awakening on mass scale, or big enough, even starting from your community, and you see that people that are not putting up anymore to be treated like a bunch of slaves, they start to realize that they look around, like I saw that video that I will post on lovegunsfreedom.com from the activist from New Hampshire. His name is Ian, and I'm going to have him on the show next Sunday. And at that point, they will start to see that we are here and we are not bending over anymore. And they start to be afraid. And we don't even need to be violent. We don't want to be violent. We do not believe in aggression. But at the same time, if you come here and you start to slap us around, speaking for myself, well, I'm not going to just be like, Jesus Christ, turn the other cheek. I'm sorry. I have some dignity, and maybe I'm not a saint, and I'm not going to go there. But I still say we need to start to unite. One more thing I want to ask you. This event, exactly, you said is on National Forest, correct?
It's actually on a piece of property that I believe might have some kind of historical protection. It's the old Baca family property. And when you go on the county website and you click on the parcel, there is no parcel information.
So it's nobody's land?
I designed cell towers for 7 years before I quit my slave job. And so I'm very familiar with county websites and how to access that kind of stuff, that information. And all of the surrounding areas around the Baca property is National Forest Service. And you can see how fraudulent they are just by looking at this particular area and noticing the surrounding areas all have duplicate parcel information with duplicate acreage and things like that. So the county has gone in there and created the little map, and they've gone, ours, and they just copied and pasted the same information when it's obviously two separate parcels when you're looking at it. So for them to have fraudulent information on there just, shows how fraudulent they are.
Okay.
And, we don't even need to document property with the counties anymore because we do have the blockchain, which is public. And
so it's
there you go.
It's pretty much this is like supposed to be nobody's land. I mean, somebody doesn't hold the title of this one, not private, not state. Somebody. I mean, let's say tomorrow.
There is no information on this parcel. It's so crazy. I think it has a historical backing to it.
Pretty exciting.
It doesn't say that either, though.
So we don't even know if technically, on some federal land, I don't know if this is really, tomorrow they may say it's federal, I don't know. Technically there are some also very restrictive gun legislations that, are you allowed to, as a slave, to carry a gun in this part of the Arizona, whatever land it is? What do you think? We're just going to try it out, I guess.
Well, the second year we did the festival, somebody before the event happened, someone from the government wrote through the website, and they wanted to find the person in charge so they could send an official letter to. And I, of course, called Ernie, who does the show,
Yes.
Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock, and he called as a journalist saying, I'm just wondering, my friend got this message, and she's like wondering why you care about our camping party. And the woman said, well, it looks like it's organized, and it looks like there's vendors, and if you have 70 people or more, you need a special use permit, and we have 16 pages of questions that you need to answer. And Ernie basically told them that that's not going to happen, and no one's in charge, and they're never going to get money out of anybody.
Exactly.
If that's,
I mean, let's say tomorrow, as individual, I want to go there. You want to go there. Everybody's crazy enough. We're all going to go there at the same time. What do you want from us? I don't even know you.
So they sent the Forest Service.
Yeah.
That year
anyway,
to visit us.
And what happened?
They sent law enforcement, and they were up there ahead of time, just snooping around, like hanging out, not talking to anyone, being all creepy, like spy-like.
This is
and
exciting.
then, like, by Friday, the Forest Service came, and they came up to my site, and I'm decorated, with Agris Marketplace, because that's my Agris business. And they say, hi, I'm so-and-so, and they're wearing full battle rattle. Like, I don't know what they thought they were getting themselves into, some kind of, like, rainbow gathering, but it's maybe like a rainbow gathering, but everyone's wearing guns. So
they were,
yes,
wait a
everyone
second.
wears guns there.
They were ready with, like, a full combat, like going to Iraq, something like that?
They were full battle rattle, but they were very friendly, and they said, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I said, hi, I'm Alma, and they said, oh, nice site, and I'm pretty sure they were referring to the website, not my campsite, because that would just be weird. And they said, oh, well, we just want to make sure nobody's going to be driving ATVs in the meadow, and we want to make sure that everyone's gun safe. And he goes, and if more people show up, they can camp over here, and he waves to the left, and they can camp over here, and he waves to the right. And I'm like, there's hundreds of miles of forest here. Yeah, of course they can camp anywhere they want, and no, they don't need your permission to do so. So I nicely said, if you have information for people, you should come and set up a little tent. Yeah. And they were like, no, that's cool. And so last year we were completely left alone. I didn't see one law enforcement vehicle. If they were up there, they were undercover. I did meet the neighbors that live not very far away. Mm-hmm. They came up there a couple times and super friendly. And we've had a couple visitors that weren't, they didn't know about the festival, and they just came up there because they're camping, driving around, and having fun. And we've served them food, and, we've taken suggested donations and things like that. So
excellent,
yeah,
excellent.
Cool.
I like the idea. I'll try to be there. On top, it's beautiful because I see the altitude is very nice. It's like over 7,500 feet of elevation, so it's kind of cool.
Yep.
Instead of
really cool
burning somewhere in the valley or wherever you are normally in Arizona, this is a great place to be summertime. Lisa, I want to thank you again for the inspiration to share this great information. And I invite everybody there, every listener that maybe want to understand more, even this philosophy, because I think it's almost for me, it's not just a way of life, it's also philosophy. It is not about politics, because at the end of the day, politics is the way we can live our life. That's the way I look at this. So it's incredible information, and I say, of course, always try at your own risk, because, try to do today half of the things that probably you're doing. Your life is not exactly simple and plain, because, you start to talk to about permit and license with the regular people out there, and sometimes more important with the law enforcement. You're going to have some sort of interactions that not every time is going to be easy, but at least, we have a start. We need to talk about these topics. We need to talk about our rights the way it used to be, because I don't think that our founding fathers or people before us, when they started this country, they created an idea that we must have permit and licenses every time we move around, okay? Even to move a rock on our own property, or what's supposed to be our own property. Of course, property taxes pretty much doesn't make any more properties anymore, just a lease. But that's another story. Alma, I thank you very much. I want to give you the last minute before I need to go to another topic. Go ahead.
Okay, I just have two things to say. One is, if the government stole 100% of your income, that would be theft, right? And so at what percent is it not? And the last thing I would just like to suggest people to check out micronations, because I believe that we in the future will be creating many micronations, even a micronation as small as the individual. So I'm really looking forward to things like that. I kind of view Jackalope as a micronation. So and there's lots of other different organizations that are kind of popping up like that too. So it's exciting.
I agree, and that's the key. We need to start locally to build it again, and that's exactly why I think I love this idea so much. You know, I mean, as an individual, there is so much you can do. You can stand your line wherever you are. But when you start to have other like-minded people like you, and you create a circle, a wagon, guess what? Whoever is outside that wagon and trying to harass you and trying to boss you around, they start to realize that it's not that easy anymore. And that's why it's so important we start to do that. Thank you very much, Alma. My best regard to your other side and to your newborn free man out there, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. Don't go away, because the second hour we will talk about guns and training.
La 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 la.
They're sucking our blood. They're stealing our lives away if we are too busy. We're too afraid. We're already lost our soul. We're already their slaves. Now is the time to stand for our rights. Now is the time to pray and fight. Fight! Revolution, rebirth of a nation. Now it's our time to show who we really are. Revolution, a peaceful solution. But we're not afraid to stand for what is right. The day will come when we'll all be gone. What are we waiting for? Let's live with honor. Let's go. They've pushed our limits. Where's our pride? Are we already dead? Or are we still alive? Look at the mirror, go find your soul. You are the answer now. You go! Revolution, rebirth of a nation. Now it's our time to show who we really are. Revolution, a peaceful solution. But we're not afraid to stand for what is right. Revolution, rebirth of a nation. Now it's our time.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman,
I'm not afraid,
and a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Here we go. We are almost at the final part of the first hour of today's show, Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. You know, I try to bring you, first of all, the reality, or at least things that normally, you hear bits and pieces maybe on mainstream news, and I try to put them together. And they are not things about, the Kardashian or other, stuff that we really supposed not to care. I'm talking about things that are connected to our basic human rights as free human beings. That's it. That's all I do. This is not entertainment. This is pretty much my form of love, to try to reach out my fellow humans and Americans. I know many people around the world start to listen to the show. I have listeners in Italy. I have listeners in France, in Germany. And I'm really thankful to you because we are all in danger. It's not just about the American problem. It's tyranny. It's upon us. It's a global tyranny. It's called New World Order. Now, to keep this show free, I said, I'm here as a human being. I work for a living. I write songs. You just heard one of my songs. I do many other things. I do paintings. I do business, whatever. Trying to do my little part. I wasn't born rich. I got to work for a living. And that's great. I enjoy it. I like to create. That's my type of living. I like to create things. I like to create music. I like to create arts. I like to create business, products, ideas. I don't know. I'm not insane when it comes to that. I like to give you something for something back. And that's the way it works. It's not like the government. They just take from you, and the government doesn't create anything. Well, all it does is steal from somebody and give it to somebody else, and they keep their cut because they are parasites. That's the bottom line. And they use violence and coercion. We don't here. At this station here, it's called advertisement. Support the sponsors. Try to help, to bring this information, keeping it alive. For me, I'm here as an act of love, And all I ask, if you want to support me, to be, because it's not just the 3 hours I do during the week for the show, the Sunday show, it's also the preparation, looking for the guests, writing the articles, coming down with the ideas how to articulate. It takes time. Many hours that I could dedicate to my businesses and make money. I don't do it. I want to try to focus on bringing this form of activism and love to you, to try to wake you up, and together we can hopefully stop all this. So if you want to help me out, it's very simple. I said many times, and I'm not ashamed to tell you again, nothing is free. If one day you don't hear me anymore, oh, where is gone, Luca? Guess what? Maybe you should ask, did you help me out to try to support the show? You can do it very simply. You don't need to send me a big check. All you need to have is 99 cents. And how do you do with that? Of course, if you have more, send more. First of all, if you're like a big heart, like some of my friends, like Eric Savicki, he likes to send me wine, that's great. I'll give you my address, send me an email. Wine, I love wine. It's a good, healthy thing to have, especially when it's a good wine. But regardless, we got to pay bills here. So if you want to send me, go to my website, Zanna, Z-A-N-N-A, Zanna.us. With just 99 cents, you can download any of my songs. I wrote more than 100 songs, and I keep writing them, okay? I'm also ready almost with 2 new books, okay? I'm writing also books, believe it or not. I don't know even possible with my grammar, but I'm getting there. And you can support me with just 99 cents, download any of my songs, and doing that, you will keep the show free, independent, and alive, okay? That's the bottom line. All it takes, credit card, 99 cents. If I'm not worth 99 cents, just turn it off. Seriously. I mean, nobody's going to cry, okay? So that's what I'm trying to say. Now, another important thing. I want to tell you guys, I have no problems with anybody. If you are gay, if you are Northeast, if you're Southeast, we all should respect each other. That's the bottom line. But what I'm really concerned now when we see this new fascism, the politically correctness fascism, We're supposed to have a freedom of speech and even say things that we don't agree with each other. That's fine. And that's why you listen. I am very proud when somebody wrote me from Facebook saying, you know what, Luca, I listen to you and I see you give space to people, especially when you don't agree. Exactly. I'm not here to be right. I want to learn from others. Sometimes I learn even from people I don't agree, and I'm the first one to admit it. So we try to do this, and that's exactly the purpose of this show. At the same time, I throw a line, though. If you use violence, if you use a language with violence, or if you want to use the coercion of the government as violence to deny my rights, I'm going to tell you to go to hell, seriously. And you will find the fiercest enemies here, the fiercest enemy. Because, when I hate to hear when people say, you know what, we need to have more programs, we need to get more money from that, more taxes, more that. And then I say, excuse me? No, that's not right, because you're stealing from me. Oh, we agree to disagree. No, don't hide behind that phrase. Because what you're doing, you're not just talking about the weather or about, what is your favorite team in the football, soccer, or whatever. No, we agree to disagree. I couldn't care less what you do in your life. Even about the gay issue. Do what you want. Just don't do it on my face. Don't use my dollars. And we're all going to get along. But when you start to say, I want to do this, I want to do that, and we need this money, we need that money, guess what? Where the money you think they're coming from? Besides from the private Federal Reserve that, they're going to print it out of thin air, but then they're going to ask us the interest, and we're going to pay with our debt, with our tax dollar. So that's the scam I don't accept. That's where I draw the line about we agree to disagree. So that's it, guys. So be ready for our number 2. It's going to be great. I have a lot of news to read, a lot of good training, some great deals. I like to find you deals, guys. Great guns, great ammunition. And then, of course, our number 3 is going to be a lot of more news and love and a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on KTOX 1340 AM and on UnitedStates.fm network. Stay tuned.
La 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 la
If I could have gotten 51 votes in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban, picking up every one of them, Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in, I would have done it. I could not do that. The votes weren't here.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on UnitedStates.fm network. Here we go. Hour number 2. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna, and this is the hour about guns, about training, also about thinking. Why do we carry a gun? I'm a very peaceful person, let me tell you. I hate violence, and unless you corner me, I try to avoid, because that's the idea, When we have the type of freedom and also power, people that will understand, law-abiding person, they don't want to abuse that power, okay? Unfortunately, criminals out there, they would love to abuse their power, no matter if they have a gun or empty hands. Before we go ahead, today we'll talk about training, we'll talk about ammunition, we'll talk about great deals that I found for you, and many other news about the Second Amendment. I have something to share with you that I've been thinking about it, if I wanted to put it on the air or not, because it's very disturbing. It's a video. Of course, I cannot share a video because we are on the radio after all, but some audio from a video that is getting viral out there of a mother, white mother, who was holding a little baby at the park, and pretty much she's beaten up by black chick, white, two other, probably, I don't know, more than one black people in the back. They are videotaping it, and they're enjoying it. It's like a show, like some sort of, circus. And, of course, so terrible. The white mother is sitting on the chair at this park with a little baby on her arms. Visualize it. Minding her business. But she's not, whatever she's doing, she's not trying to attempt any type of confrontation. She has a baby, after all, her little infant on her arms. And then you will see this animal. I don't even call it person. I don't care which color you are, okay? You are an animal. You are a coward animal. To engage in a fight, vicious fight. A woman, a girl, a person who is sitting down and she's holding her baby. And by the way, this baby is screaming, and you will hear it. This lady is screaming, probably worried about the baby, and the baby gets hurt. He gets hurt, okay? He has a big slash on top of his forehead. So disgusting. This is why it's so important, in this hour, we'll talk not just about guns, but also about mindset. About the level of awareness. We were talking about the colors of awareness, which conditions should we go out? Evil is out there. And this is not about trying to put black against white or white against black, because I tell you, I don't care which color you are. If you're a bastard, if you're a violent piece of garbage, for me, I'm an equal opportunity. If you try to harm me, I will defend myself, even with my teeth. If I have to forget about guns, I will bite your throat. I will get your ears and rip them off with my hands if I have to. I don't need a gun, okay? This is called vital, basic self-survival instinct. I'm not your slave. I'm not somebody to boss around. And you won't take my life. You won't take my property. And for sure, you will not harm my family. You will not harm my child. But at the same time, we have tools. Thanks God, because it's a God-given right. If you don't believe in God, I do not care. Whatever you believe, it's fine. But we have a right as human beings to defend ourselves. Okay? So, 2x4 against a piece of crap subhuman like this one, and now you will hear it. You will listen on this audio from this video. This black animal. And I'm not trying to say black as this prejudice, just because she's black, okay? Could have been yellow, could have been white. I do not care. She's an animal, though. But I don't even think the animals, because animals have more guts. Animals try to kill you only when they're hungry. Animals they don't kill for fun. They don't enjoy beating up somebody just to put it on YouTube, okay? So let's respect the animals. She's a subhuman piece of fishes. That's what she is. So I will play this audio, and I invite you to Google it. It's a black woman beating up. I will post the video on lovegunsfreedom.com. Forget about it. Go to today's show. I will post it. And at that point, you see why we need to think that out there, we are not living in fantasy land. This is not Kansas. This is not the world where everybody's walking hands in hands, black and white, in peace. I really wish. I have no problems with anybody. I have a lot of friends. They're black, they're yellow, they're red. I don't care. I'm the guy with the accent, after all. I judge people by what is inside, not what is outside. But I don't want to hear this bunch of garbage that, you're white and you're the slave master or whatever. I wasn't slave anybody, and guess what? Everybody was slave and everybody was a master. There were slaves and there were masters in both sides. There were the Irish slaves. There were the black masters. I mean, come on. It's time to get up, stop it, wake up, and start to really understand that they are playing us against each other. At the same time, I know very well, I'm aware, this is they try to incite this racial war, and Obama is one of the biggest engine behind. And so George Soros, okay? For my brothers, black brothers out there, come on, guys. They try to enslave us all now. We need to unite as human beings, okay? At the same time, if you have a problem, you still don't get it, you're still full of hate. And just because you want to endanger, you want to harm somebody, just because of the color of their skin, guess what? I'm here to try to share with you everything I can, more important than mindset. The gun, as I said, is just an extension. And yes, I wish you had a gun, lady, there when you were carrying your child. If you carry a child in the middle of a park, I don't know which state you live, but try to find a way to be protected, to protect yourself. At the same time, is your mindset. The best way to face a problem It's to avoid the problem. When you start to see that you get surrounded by people that they don't look good, that means they start to gang you around like a pack of sharks. And you're pretty much now the minority out there. Maybe it's time to get out, or maybe it's time to have some friends with you. It's time to be aware. Do not put yourself in position of you get let them close too much. But regardless. Now let's just listen to this part of audio. And then we start with the second hour, Love, Guns, and Freedom. And we will talk about a lot of interesting things. And I hope you're never going to use them. But if you have to, at least you have some tools to do not be a victim. Here we go. Here, this is the situation.
Bitch, the fuck? Who are you?
You don't talk to me like that. Yeah, it's between them. Get up. It's between them. Get up. I'm not playing with you like real.
She keeping that baby so she gonna get an ass beat.
But you can keep your mouth closed.
Mosquitoes, nigga. Oh, shit. Dude, they shouldn't have fucked them up. Dude, take the baby off. Take the baby off. Take the baby off. The baby's the reason why she's not getting beat up.
Take the baby. We's an idiot. Say the baby.
Get up!
Damn, they really that scared to fight.
Okay, and according to the news, one of the reasons, or probably the reason, why this white mother with this child was attacked, because she was sitting in the wrong park. Think about it. America 2015, we still have racism. Yes, you're right. We still have racism. And you know what? Unfortunately, it's from both sides. And right now, I'm pointing out something that media, the real mainstream media, will never point out. I'm here to point out the facts, the truth. I don't care if you're black, white, brown, whatever. If you're evil, if you're wrong, you must be exposed. In this case, this is exactly the situation. And you know what is most disgusting? This poor little child is going to be, even if he's very young, I think I can see he's probably maybe a couple years old. I remember when I was a child, I remember things, okay? He's going to be probably have scars, not just on his eyes, above his eyes, for the rest of his life, in his soul, in his heart, to look at the drama, to have his mother beat him like a beast, just because she was sitting on the wrong park. I mean, think about it. So we got to start to realize we do not carry a gun for sport. We do not carry a gun for hobby. We carry a gun because we are not victims. Let's start with that. Seriously. If we don't get that in our brain, we are wasting time here. Don't even listen to the show. Just go to the park and get beaten up too, okay? Seriously, I'm very upset today. So, I do my best, I'm not an expert in the sense that I'm not somebody that who teaches for a living, but I know probably more than the average. I've been studying, I call myself a professional student, I attend classes, I do training, I do my stuff, whatever I can do. But more important, it's not just about the guns, as I said. It starts with your mindset. Do not put yourself in position of disadvantage. Try to see problems before they become problems. Okay? Try to avoid problems. At the same time, you don't need to be a victim. At the same time, you don't need to be a slave. I understand. You have the right to be on that bench. The only thing, probably, I wouldn't go with my child. I would go with a bunch of friends and sit down on that bench, enjoy my freedom, my rights. If you try to mess with me and try to tell me to get up, you're going to get... I don't want to tell you what you're going to get, but for sure you start to lay the first finger on me, you're going to see something never seen before. Touch me with a finger, I'll bite your throat. I rip your ears off with my hands. You understand that? This scum, this piece of scum, girl, I don't care which color it is. In this case it's black, could have been yellow. I do not care. She's lucky. She got this poor mother. She's still too much concerned about, of course, of her child. Maybe she didn't have the skills and the rage to defend herself the way she should be. This is just my humble thing. Now let's talk about other things. I need to detox here, okay? Now, today, what I would like to talk. First of all, some news. Bad news, but they're good. Because we need to realize and face the truth. We are surrounded by enemies from every side. If you're a Catholic, sorry, I was a former Catholic. I was born in Rome, pretty much, 2 steps from the Vatican, okay? So you're a Catholic automatically when you're in Rome. You're born Catholic, okay? And I became Catholic. Then I realized that, guess what? I do not like to have a king above my head. And I will never bow down and kiss anybody's ring. Simple as that. The Pope is a human. Can be good, sometimes can be bad. Unfortunately, history proves they've been bad most of the times. Because after all, they are kings. They rule. They rule with power and also with the religion. And guess what? Now Pope Francis, the commie, is a commie. Whatever you want to say, go check it out. Liberation, salvation, whatever. This guy is for a distribution of wealth. It's all about global warming. You know what? Mind your business, Pope, and think about the soul. Don't tell us what type of taxes we need to pay. But let's stick with the Second Amendment. Pope Francis says that you are not a Christian if you own a gun. Yeah, let's not forget that this Marxist piece of crap, and this is me talking, and I know if I was saying this in Italy, I would have been already arrested. Guess what? That's why I'm an American. And when I say that, I don't like to offend people, especially I don't like to offend people from religions. But I'm sorry, you are a Marxist, and you're a piece of crap, and you're an hypocrite. Because if you tell me that if I'm a Christian, I'm not a Christian because I own a gun, guess what? You hypocrite. You have plenty of armed guards, and I know because I used to go to the Vatican quite often. You have every type of guns. Okay? Guess what? Now, what's going on here? You are the king, you can have armed weapons, armed people, I'm so mad today. You can have guns, defending yourself and your office and your throne. But we, poor slaves, we're supposed to disarm. And also talking about, manufacturers, if you manufacture, let me read exactly what it says, because it's so important, if you trust only man, okay, blah, 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 it makes me think of people, manager, businessmen who call themselves Christian and they manufacture weapons. That lead to be a distrust, doesn't it? Guess what, Vatican? Guess what? The Vatican Bank is one of the main shareholders in Pietro Beretta Arms, one of the biggest gun manufacturer. God bless them. I love Beretta. But the point is, we're kind of hypocritical here. Maybe you should stick with the things of the soul. Don't tell us how we can live our lives. So this is so much for the news from the Vatican and the Pope. And I'm sorry, if you're a Catholic, you're mad at me, I'm sorry. That's fine. That's fine. Be mad. I'm still sticking with what I'm saying, and I have no apology. The Pope has no business to tell me if I'm a Christian or not just because I have a gun or not. And he has no business to tell me that I need to pay a global tax for global warming. If you want to drink that Kool-Aid, go ahead. Don't really care. So that's so much for that. So much for the races. Now let's see, because there is so much going on here. I would like to share with you some news. Now, we have also some good news. Okay, once in a while we need to get some good news. Okay, for example, first of all, we got some great deals. Okay. We got some great deals on rifles. I really believe that the best caliber out there for overall, I'm not talking about for, if you have a lot of money, or if you have not a lot of money, it's not about a lot of money. If you're committed, I'm committed. Okay, I work for a living, but I'm committed. I buy every rifle for every situation. Okay, I enjoy to have different calibers. They're like shoes. I don't have just one pair of shoes. I have shoes to go out in the desert. I have shoes to go to town. Same things for rifle. Okay, if I need to go to defend myself at against enemies that they are behind the brick wall, I have certain type of weapon. Anyway, what is the best caliber in my opinion overall? One caliber that fits all. If I have to choose one only, 7.62 by 51, 308. Okay. And what is the best rifle? Well, depends how much money you can afford. And, of course, there is always some sort of personal choices, personal situation. But first of all, let me tell you about deals out there. I think it's a great deal for the money, hard to beat, okay? I found an incredible deal on the internet. That's pretty much, I always do that every week. For me, also for you, I really believe this show, it's the idea to be sharing with others opportunities and trying to help each other and be prepared, okay? Because to be the only person out there, or one of the few people out there that has the guns, or has the training, not going to fix the problem. I want every law-abiding person out there, every person with good morals. Morals, now I'm not talking about what you do, with your women or whatever, with your men. I don't care. I'm talking about morals. It means good against evil, okay? That's what I mean. I'm not here to preach, okay? I'm talking about we have some good and bad. And I'm talking to people that believe in good. That's it. That's when I say more. Anyway, for you guys, I want to help you out to be prepared, to be armed, to be trained. That's all I can do. And it's just a radio show. Don't get me wrong. I can't do everything, but at least I can give you the input. I can give you the leads to follow, okay? We talk about training in schools. Now we're talking about guns. Now, if you like a 308, there are different options out there. And I can give you today at least 3. Number 1 option. It's an AR-15, but it's called AR-10 because it looks like an AR-15. It's from the brand DPMS, okay? It's on sale right now on Center Fire Systems, centerfiresystems.com. Okay, just to let you know, I do not get paid. These are not my sponsors. I do this because I really want to give you the best information. So, this AR-10 308 16 inches barrel, DPMS, on sale for $749. $750. You do not pay a sale tax because if you live from outside their state, they ship directly to your gun dealer, to your FFL dealer. You pay about $20 for shipping, and you have a real battlefield rifle. What I like about this AR-10, first of all, if you train with the AR-15, it's pretty much the same ergonomics, same type of command, same type of everything. You can put the same sights too. I suggest you to put also here, by the way, it does not come with sights, okay? So you need to put the front and rear sights. I suggest you to put a little bit of optics here. Since you have a 308, you can also have a great opportunity to reach out much more than just the average 250, 300 yards that you could do with to be effective with your AR-15. So get a medium, power optics. Okay, if you got the money, yeah, you should go also look into the Trichicon, but whatever, just get an optics. But always try to keep the opportunity to always use the iron sight, okay? So, with this 308, you have pretty much the same size of the average AR-15 carbine, but you have a real battlefield cartridge. 308, it is no more just flash on flash. That, in my opinion, even 55 grains on flash, yeah, it's gonna hurt you. It can kill you, of course, but if somebody is very dedicated, is oversized on drugs, you're still hitting him with a 22 magnified 22 calibers, okay? So don't get me wrong, it's going to damage you even permanently, but if you're behind wall, if you're behind even a glass, a 5.56 or 223, it's not going to have the same type of effects that would have, straight on flash. For sure, 308, we're talking about different type of caliber. I love the 308. All I know that if you have one rifle only, with this rifle you can hunt, you can survive, you can knock down cars, somebody charging your home, try to break into your gates. With the 5.56, they're going to laugh at you, okay? With the 308, not going to last unless they come with a tank, okay? So just something to consider. If you got $750, definitely I would get that. Now, only problem with this AR-10, in my opinion, magazines, they are kind of a little more expensive, and you need to find, a good source. Get the best magazines, okay? Do not get knockoff because you need to have magazines that they work. They are 20 rounds magazine, okay? Now, this comes with the collapsible stock. It's pretty much like you have an AR-15 carbine. Now, other rifles, okay, in 308 that I say you should look into that. I like very much, this is my favorite rifle, and I have here in front of me the M1A, also the military version is called M14, okay, from Springfield Armory, all different type of brands, okay, that's the point. Why I like the M14? First of all, let me tell you something. It's a rifle that, for many of you guys, may be updated. I mean, I'm kind of old, and it's, after all, it is like an upgrade from the M1 Garand. But guess what? You can get pretty much an incredible marksmanship. And if you get, like, the M1A, there are three basic models. There is the standard, okay? That is pretty much the one with, talking about 20 inches barrel. And I love those. I have a couple of those. And then you're talking about, you have the Scout with 18 inches barrel. And then you have the SOCOM, Special Operation, that has 16 inches barrel. My opinion, I love very much the Scout, because you have 18 inches barrel, you have a great compromise between, let's say, maneuver, containing space, you can easy to carry in your car or even maneuver around the house at the same time with a 308 and with those type of sights, the peep sight from the M1 Garand and, of course, the M14. I can be effective with the iron sight at 500 yards in 20 inches. We're talking about 20 inches, square inches, 4 minutes of ankle. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So anyway, and let me give you some prices. I have found a place that I think it's a great way to buy, because on top you can buy with 4 months installment payments. It's called Sportsman Guide, and I have right now, for example, if you want a Springfield Armory M1A standard semi-automatic 7.62x51, you can get it for $1,397. Okay, let's say less than $1,400. The beautiful thing is you don't pay sale tax, and also another important thing, you can make 4 payments. With $20 or so, you can get their membership card. You save a bunch of money, and you get also these 4 payments with no interest. Now, if you really got a little bit more money and you want to go fancy, I said I like very much even the SOCOM. It went up a little bit, talking about $1,500. Not much though, $1,568. But I really believe they're incredible rifles. And right now, through Sportsman Guide, I like the fact if you're a working man and you're on paycheck and you don't want to put out $1,500 altogether, guess what? You can make 4 payments. So this is something to consider. I wanted to share with you this type of deals, a couple of rifles today, and I thought it was very good. Now, ammunition, I always like to go out there and shop for ammunition. 9mm, I'm kind of a fan of the 9. I love them. If you like 9mm, the best deal I found this week for brass, I'm not talking about the Wolf in a steel case. These are from SGMO, SGMO.com, and they are MagTech. MagTech, I think from Brazil there, but they are brass. They are great, clean. I shoot them regularly, or at least I got some, and whenever I can, I shoot them. 1,000 rounds a case. 9mm Luger, 115 grain, by MagTech for $199. Not bad, okay? Talking about $10 a box. And shipping, we're talking about here, they want about $16, okay? For 1 box or $26 for 2. So not bad. You don't pay the sale tax unless you live in their state. So something to consider, something to think. I would like to think that we always can afford ammunition. I mean, we can always buy ammunition. But guess what? Now with the new TPP that Obama pretty much was able to achieve, thanks to all the Republicans traders, now he can pretty much also regulate trades without the consent, really, of Congress. So we'll think what type of trades he can regulate. Weapons, ammunition. So let's say, yeah, you can still buy ammunition from the U.S., but guess what? We're never going to have any more access to affordable ammunition like this MagTech or maybe the Wolf. Or if they will be able to arrive here, talking about taxes, talking about restrictions, talking about going to be more and more, everything more difficult. So that was a very important thing. Now, I'd like to talk about some training. Multiple adversaries. First of all, think about before that video that I played for you before, that woman with mother with her child. savagely beaten, and the child also was harmed by that devil. In this case, is black. Okay, I have to say it. It's not about being racist. It's about she's black, and the other one was white, and was racist because this black chick, she did not like to have in her park a white chick sitting down with her child. Think how racist it is. And as I said, racism goes from both sides. So, first of all, think about it. I would have prayed that the mother should have been alert enough to understand that troubles were on the way. But there is a point that you are like a cat in the corner. There is nowhere to go. And you have to decide if you want to be beaten up, if you want to be harmed. And maybe, maybe this woman could have been also been killed. Because maybe they never know. You got a big blunt force on your head. You die or you lose a eye for the rest of your life. So I'm not talking right now if this is the right thing to do at this point. We will talk, and we did talk also in the past, when it's time to use legal force, lethal force. And, of course, every state is different laws, but there are some common ground, common sense things that we will talk. But also the point is, when we are at the point that you need to defend yourself, you need to start to have a plan. And unfortunately, I see this woman didn't have a plan. And that back to the conditions of awareness, the color of awareness that we talked in the past, and maybe I need to talk again. But now, think about a woman who was aware. Think about a woman who was able to carry a gun. Think about a woman who was trained with that gun. Think about a woman. She would have stopped the threat before even all this started. Can be done. Can be done. At least we have a chance. So we need to start to think. First of all, today training is multiple aggressors, multiple attackers, and also we have another topic is malfunction number 3. We did the last week clearing malfunction type 1. Pretty much also is the same as type 2. Okay, pretty much the same. You can treat the same. So I'll focus now on malfunction type 3, and also I'll focus on multiple adversaries. Let's start first of all with the multiple adversaries. No matter what you have, if you have a handgun, a shotgun, rifle, whatever, even if you have a 2x4, the concept is always the same. You're already in bad shape. It's a very bad situation. If you can run, that would be the best way. If you have multiple adversaries, I would suggest you to run. Do not be ashamed of it, because you are pretty much now fighting in their terms, in their optimal scenario, and you're in a disadvantage. So why should you fight them? But there is a point that if they point you with the shoulders on the wall, if you become the cat in the corner, you better start to transform yourself in a tiger. Because at that point there is no other choice. So, the common law, or at least the common sense law, is that everybody gets one. Like when you are at the boarding school, dinner, I used to be there. Everybody gets one. And then, if there is more, we give another one. Same story with your handgun or whatever weapon you have. You hit them first once, one of them, and then you come back for another round. There are different type of schools, different type of philosophies. Maybe sometimes it's faster also just to give them 2 and 2. But I like the idea that everybody gets first one, and then you come back for another round. So we need to start to train. When we train at the range, don't just train on that static target, one target, and you go there and you have the gun already out of the holster. You think, okay, I'm hitting you. Bang. Probably 2 minutes later. No, that's not real life training. You need to start to think, of course, gradually. You need to start with that. Start to be sure you got down all the marksmanship. You need to know that you can hit the target on demand every time. But after you got that stage, you need to start to say, okay, now I know how to hit the target. Now I need to start to visualize real life situations. And the multiple targets situation, I think it's very important. So, put, for example, start with 2 targets. We don't need to have the whole army in front of us, okay? Start with 2 targets. You put 2 targets about probably, let's say, a couple of feet away from each other. And you want to put 1 target closer to you and 1 target a little further. The first basic rule is the closer threat, it gets hit first. So let's say if you have somebody's like 3 feet from you and the other one is like 10 feet from you, of course, you will first give them a little bit of lead medication to the closest to you, the closest bastard, okay? But let's say, first of all, let's say that the first person coming closest to you, I don't know, he has a stick in his hands. Instead, the one that is further from you, let's say 7, 10 yards, he has a rifle. Now, automatically, it's all relative, you see. It is not about just being closer, but also who represents the biggest threat. So, at that point, you will engage first the one that is further from you, because he has a rifle. The other one has a stick, after all, okay? So this is the common logic. But you need to start to visualize. You need to start to train. Now, what is very important? First of all, do not be a static target. And you start to train, first of all, you will engage 1 and 2. And you come back twice, at least. Or at least until the threat or the threats stop. Okay? The point is, you need to start to immediately take for cover. So your training session, I will start to do this one. And the beautiful thing you can do also at home in dry practice. I already told you I have that CERT handgun with laser. It's amazing. I really like it. And I've been training with that. I like it. You know, you can put 2 targets, different locations, and you engage them in different scenarios, from conceal, or if you have also from the ready, from the holster, open carry, different scenario, different positions. And you start to engage them. And at that point, you want to be sure that you move also while you engage in them. You start first static and then you move. So that would be, for me, I think one thing that normally in the basic average training out there on the range, I don't see very often. Everybody just focus on hitting their target. One target sometimes is not just enough. One opponent, unfortunately, rats, and these people, they are scum of the universe, these evil people who want to harm you, they're like rats, and they walk in pack. So you're going to find more than one. So be ready. Start to be prepared. Now, second thing also, if you carry a gun, I already said many times, be sure that you have extra ammunition. Because if you are facing multiple adversaries and you decide that, unfortunately, you have no other options, but you need to engage this evil, what if you have to engage multiple adversaries with your little snub revolver with 5 rounds, and you really think that that's going to do it? Maybe if you're very lucky, maybe if you're very skilled, maybe if these people, they're so afraid that just because you do bang with your voice, they're going to run. But if they are these evil people, let's say even more than one, even just one, but let's say 2 aggressors, they are dedicated and they have weapons, you're going to get run out of these 5 rounds so fast. Even if you hit them, they're not going to go down probably immediately. So you need to start to think at that point, you're going to be completely in their hands. And they're mad. Because they see that you're not a victim and you want to defend them. Maybe you hurt them a little bit. So you better have more ammunition. So carry ammunition. If you have a snub, if you have a revolver, carry ammunition more than ever. If you have a double stack revolver, like even a Glock 17, you think you got 70 rounds, you're great. No, carry extra ammunition. That's my only thing. So pretty much the multiple adversary situation, first of all, is a state of mind. First of all, you got to try to avoid that situation. The first line of defense would be run. Okay? Try to run. Try to avoid it. There is no dishonor in staying alive. We are not here to make a point. We are not here to be a G.I. Joe, okay? We are here as law-abiding citizens to defend innocence and to defend our lives. Okay? But if they put you in the spot that you have no other choice, they put you, they think you're a cat, they put you on the corner, you become a tiger, and you go straight for their throat and make them understand that there is no way now they're going to get out of this. So, think about it and train. Start to train. And start to also train with the timer. When you start to engage multiple adversaries, start to time. You don't have all day. These people, they're not going to stay steady like you at the range. They're going to move. And then start to engage more adversaries, 3 adversaries, different locations. Start to put some, for example, behind cover. Be harsh on you during training. Don't do the things like normally people do, like they don't want to make mistakes. because they don't want to look bad in front of their girlfriend or their friends. That's the wrong attitude. That attitude is going to get you shot. When you go train, when I train, I was trying to make mistakes. I try to do things that I want to do that. I want to make it difficult, more difficult. Even sometimes I say, I'm tired today. I'm going to shoot. Because normally, you never know when you're going to shoot. There is not enough light. I need to shoot when there is not enough light. Oh, it's too hot today. Guess what? It's time I go to train. You think you're going to face the enemy or your adversary or the serial killer or the piece of trash try to harm you and your family only when the temperature is going to be perfect and you're going to have the ideal light out there. And, hopefully you're going to have also, you just had a coffee and a cigarette before, okay? No, that's not going to happen. So that's my point. Make your training realistic. Now, another thing I like talking about training, it is, one thing that I will show you the video because I like this video that you can go to handguntraining.tv or also on my main site, lovegunsfreedom.com from the radio. And I post the video. And today we will talk about malfunction type 3. I will do it with my Glock, like normally I do. And let me tell you something. Malfunctions number 3, it's really a pain in the butt. Okay? With training, no big deal to clear it, okay? But if you have a backup gun, go for it, okay? Because differently from malfunction type 1, this is kind of hot today. Different from malfunction type 1. Malfunction 3, I can clear malfunction type 1 in less than 1 second. Pretty fast. I'm still moving and engaging my adversary. Malfunction number 3, let's say normally at least at front sight, the average time for their test, it's about 5.4 seconds, 5 seconds. I can go down 3.5, 4 seconds, no big deal. 3.5 seconds is fine. It's kind of fast though. The point, we're talking still 3.5 seconds. During a gunfight is an eternity. And so I say, if you have a backup gun, go for it. But we must train to clear it because many times we don't have a backup gun. So I just show you right now over the radio. And many people say, I don't care about this. And if you don't care, change channel. I don't care really. I'm trying to say people who carry a gun. And at least I want to let you know that maybe something you need to learn. You may know maybe now try to be able to grasp it all while you're driving, because I understand you want to be safe and drive, and please don't touch your gun, okay? If you are in the car, don't start to mess around, okay? Please, it's dangerous. But when you come back home, you go to lovegunsfreedom.com or you go to handguntraining.tv and watch it. My little YouTube video, I show you how to clear malfunction 3. Now, let me just give you pretty much the basic here over the radio. First of all, be sure that, if you are in the house, do not use ammunition. Use snap caps, okay? Now, what I do, first of all, I put a fake round in the chamber. Then I put a magazine with a loaded magazine in the back. Now, what I do, I have now 1 round in the chamber, and I let the slide go. I pretty much going to bring another round behind the round already in the chamber. So we got too much brass, okay? Double fit. What do we do? First of all, we must understand that the gun, just feeling it, the trigger, is going to be unresponsive. So it's not working. And we know this is a different trigger from malfunction type 1 or 2. So what we do, we look, while we're engaging, we do not bring the gun down. We just move a little bit the slide up towards our eyes, and we can see the condition of the gun, and we see the double feet, so we look and move. Move on the side. Now, finger straight. Do not leave that finger on the trigger. At that point, you lock the slide. Why? Because that's the way you're going to be able to remove that magazine. So you lock the slide. Now, there are 2 different type of way to do it. One is with the with the magazine, retaining the magazine. And the other one is dropping the magazine. I will talk right now with the one retaining the magazine. Because I don't like to drop a full or at least semi-full magazine on the ground. Okay? So I can easily remove, look and move, lock the slide, remove the magazine. Okay? You push, of course, the release button here. Now this magazine, I hold it with the finger, the pinky, on my firing hand. I'm holding the gun. I can also hold the magazine. When you watch the video, you can see it's easy. At that point, I rack the slide 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Then I re-engage with my support hand. I hold my magazine. I insert it again. And at that point, what do? Rack the slide back into the fight. All this needs to be done in less than 4 seconds. They say 5.4, the basic front side class for the test. Try to work for 4 seconds. Try to be harsh on you, okay? So this is something to think, Malfunctions, they're important to clear. It's all part of the package of tools, of knowledge that you have. It is not just about shooting the gun. Because you may be a great guy shooting the gun, you may hit the target, you may be fast, but what if your gun has a problem? So it's all part of this knowledge we must acquire. Now, I would say let's go with a song before we talk about some news and more of the interesting things about the Second Amendment and guns. So, nice little song. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. And also remind you guys, I'm here to try to share with love what I know. And I'm learning with you, of course. And try to bring you deals, try to bring you guns and ammunition, good prices. I want you educated. I would like to have the best gun owners out there, the people that they have a really high respect for other people. And also I would like to bring you great deals, okay? But this show is not free. Because pretty much my time I'm here, I'm sweating like a pig right now. And I could stay at the range, I could do my life, I could make money and other things. I'm here with love to try to help each other. I appreciate your help. How can you help me to stay on the air and keep this message free so I don't need to beg for sponsors, okay? Go to my website, www.zanna.us. Download at least one song. 99 cents. I have songs for everybody, from love to romantic, sensual, New World Order, political freedom, whatever. I write 360 degrees, okay? So I appreciate your help. Meanwhile, let's listen to a song and then we come back with more great ideas, training, second hour of Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Don't go away.
Well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Our fathers gave us freedom and the right to defend it. Politicians, United Nations, it won't change the Constitution of our nation. We are free people, and for freedom we'll fight. We'll never give up our right. The Second Amendment, the Second Amendment, the right to be free, the right to defend yourself. The Second Amendment, the Second Amendment, the right to be free, the right to defend yourself. Doesn't help the sheep. Why should it help a human from thugs and creeps? And people disarm, only free to cry. Remember the Nazi, how many innocents died? The Second Amendment, the Second Amendment, the right to be free, the right to yourself. The Second Amendment. The Second Amendment. The right to be free. The right to defend yourself. The oppressive state first politely will ban your right, then with violence they'll keep you quiet. The Second Amendment. The Second Amendment. The right to be free. The right to defend yourself. The Second Amendment. The Second Amendment. The right to be free. The right to defend yourself.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman,
I'm not afraid.
and a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth,
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna
I'm not afraid.
and his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Almost the end of our number 2, second hour, Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. This is about guns, training, news, talking about news. You know, New York. You know very well what happened with the New York SAFE Act, you know, these draconian gun laws to register the firearms. Guess what? So far, only 24,000 New Yorkers, and many of them, or most of them, probably they're cops, comply with these gun control laws. That means so far people are refusing to become slaves. So far, only 24,000 gun owners registered their semi-automatic rifles with the state, meaning that this law pretty much has been repealed through civil disobedience. And let me tell you right now, this is the spirit. This is what we're talking about. You know, this is, we cannot, there is a moment that we need to draw a line in the sand. There is a moment that we need to start to understand that we always try to take more from us, more, and more. Today they can register your guns, and then like in California, they will come to confiscate your guns. They did the same. Yeah, the semi-automatic, the AR-15. They started with the registration. So dear, Governor Andrew Cuomo, that you signed in 2013 this legislation, call it legislation, I call it travesty. Screw you, with all my heart, okay, from Arizona. And I'm telling you right now, again, you know, the moment that things can change, and I expect in my lifetime, they will change. If not today, maybe in the future, I think they will try it, to even Arizona where I live. So let me tell you right now, I want to renew my oath. I want to renew my promise to myself and to my fellow Americans and to the Republic. I will never comply to any gun registration. Never. I'm not going to be on this planet forever. I already know that. I'm a human being like probably most of you, because I know there are some devils out there among the government and the people like Obama. I wouldn't be surprised as a devil. But regardless, not just Obama, don't get me wrong, there is also Bush among them, okay? But they will try to get our guns. Look now at that piece of garbage supposed to be Republican, or Carol Rove, pretty much said that to stop all this violence, we don't need a Second Amendment because this needs to be repealed. So you see, there is no just difference. I'm not here to defend Republicans because they are the same. They're doing the same. If they could get away with gun control, they would do it. Look what pretty much Arnold Schwarzenegger did in California, banning the .50 caliber, and many more other things against the Second Amendment. So this is not a Republican issue. This is not just all the Democrats' fault. They're all guilty, okay? And there, of course, among them, between both sides, there are some decent people, But we need to start to understand things are going to change everywhere, unfortunately, or can change. Hopefully not. I'm not for violence. I don't want that. I hope we can stop it at legislative level. But at the same time, we need to start to create our mindset. What are we going to do? Are we going to comply? No. And I'm not going to hide my guns. Yeah, I might hide most of them, but I'm going to carry my gun with me, no matter where I go. I'm a free human being. The moment that guns become illegal, I am illegal. Fine, go for it. Anyway, now, little training. I like training. This is something you can do at home, okay? Normally, we train with static targets or, targets. Hard to find a place where you can have moving targets, kind of difficult. But let's say that you can do it, especially with dry fire, with no ammunition, a moving target. Very simple. Normally, you remember that your opponent will not be steady, will not looking at you, say, okay, let me shoot at you now, and please don't move. Okay, I don't move. No, everybody's going to move. Hopefully you going to run. I don't care about the scumbag. Hopefully stay there. So you got to think about you need to move. At the same time, you need to understand that your opponent will try to move, and probably try to charge you, especially if he or she has like a blunt weapon or maybe like a knife. So you need to start to understand that shooting at that static target is not going to be helpful anymore. You need to start to train with a moving target. So I found this drill on the internet. I like that, and I like to experiment it. I not just like to try it and listen to it and read it. I like to do it. So you need somebody who can help you out. No ammunition in the room. Be sure you have a gun that is just for training. Double check it, triple check it. There are no ammunitions. I like to have now this SIRT, S-I-R-T. Go check it out. It's a little expensive, but it's worth it. It's safe. It is not a real weapon. It's just a laser Glock. It looks like a real Glock. It feels like a real Glock, but it's a toy. Not really a toy. It's a training tool. And every time you squeeze the trigger, there is a laser coming out, and you can squeeze the trigger like the gun is loaded. So you don't need to rack the slide every time. So anyway, somebody needs to throw a ball at you, like a big ball, like a soccer ball, basketball, something like that, okay? And you are pretty much in different scenarios. You could be, for example, sitting. You could be standing. Most of the times you're going to be anyway concealed. It's going to be a good training for concealed. Because unless you live in states like Arizona or some other open carry states, like Texas, you're going to have a hard time to always, and I tell you, tactically, I think would be much better if you concealed anyway. Anyway, so pretty much the idea that they throw this ball at you, and then at that point, beep, you start to engage it. And you want to be sure that you need to try to hit it. When they throw the ball at you, they don't want to try to ball like straight directly, like they want to hit you. They want to make it bounce high, that pretty much the ball can be almost at head level, head height. So you simulate really like almost a person. So you throw this ball on the ground in a way that goes towards you, and the way that bouncing it back and forth is going to be like almost at your head height. This is pretty good training. Because at that point, especially if you have the SIRT gun with the laser, you can see every time you hitting the target. I think it's very simple, economical, and it's a good training to try out, definitely. Now, just one of the last news before we close and we go to hour number 3. United Nations, they never mind their business. They're so in love with us. They care so much about us that they're so concerned about all these killings. They want us disarmed. So the UN wants, again, urgent measures to control guns after Charleston killings. Americans, pretty much, they're going to be unable to defend ourselves because now the United Nations say so. Guess what? Unfortunately, they're always behind the corner. And now with this, you know what the globalists want? They want everybody disarmed. And pretty much they succeed around the world. Look at Europe, look at England, look at Australia, Germany, France. They are pretty much, slaves, disarmed slaves. Now, America is the last country left with the Second Amendment, especially in some states like Arizona. They will try the federal level to try to do everything they can to pretty much destroy our Second Amendment. And the United Nations now, more than ever, with this UN Armed Trade Treaty, it's going to be a very incredible danger. With the Trade Promotion Authority, TPA, they call fast track. Now Obama is going to have unlimited powers, pretty much, to start to renegotiate trades on every issue, especially on the firearms. So, guys, think about it. If you don't care about the United Nations, means you don't care about freedom. You don't care about sovereignty of this nation. You don't care about your rights to defend yourself and your family. You listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna, ready for our number 3. I love you.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.fm network.
Have you ever met someone on an online dating site and thought, wow, this guy is perfect for me, or she is simply amazing, only to find out they were hiding a deep, dark secret? They plan to vote for Hillary. FreedomLovers.us was created for singles who want to exchange ideas and a love for freedom. People who are looking for solutions to create and defend freedom in the real world, and at the same time, getting that once-in-a-lifetime chance to find their true soulmate. Whether you are interested in meeting your soulmate, making new friends, networking, or hanging out with that like-minded liberty lover, visit FreedomLovers.us. It's the first free dating site and community. So patriots, don't waste your time with other dating sites. FreedomLovers.us is the place where like-minded singles really click.
Okay, this is time for a drink, time for a little bit of relax. I must be honest, I'm getting very stressed out lately. It's kind of, I don't know, like almost it's living through a nightmare, just sometimes getting deeper and deeper into this reality. But I'm not complaining, even I sound like it. Because at the end of the day, I always rather to know the truth and try to provide for it and try to do some sort of a planning than just, living like in ignorance and not being aware of what's going on. I know sometimes a little stressful though, and that's why, I must tell you, I really think it's so important to find each other, to find like-minded people. Otherwise, I could not function. Seriously, think about it. You always been surrounded by idiots or people who doesn't not even speak your language. I'm not talking about the English or whatever English language you're talking. I'm talking about to see the reality that we're living in, okay? They're still in the matrix. It's too much, too hard. That's why I wanted to create freedomlovers.us. It's a simple place. It's a free website. It's a dating site, but you don't need to date. You can also just find friends or to conduct some business, trading, exchanging. Also ideas, not just products. So you can go to freedomlovers.us and create an account, 100% free. We don't even ask you for credit cards, okay? And my goal, my vision when I created that was try to find a place for like-minded people who wants to respect each other. We will respect each other, even if we have differences of opinion on some issue. But we do not want to use each other's money. We don't need the government coercion in our life. We want just to be enjoying our basic rights and respecting each other. And of course, why not? It would be nice to find also the person of your heart, So go to freedomlovers.us, create an account. You can pretty much propose yourself to the world. And there is also free instant message, free dating, free video message, free chat rooms, and free classifieds. It's very cool. And, I'm paying for it, so I hope you can enjoy it. So that's my idea. Now, You heard a little bop at the beginning of the hour. I had a beautiful Prosecco La Marca from Italy. Kind of cold because it's a hot day, and during hot days, I do not like to drink red wine. I like red wine maybe at night when it's okay in the house, but during the day, I like to drink cold. I know. And you gotta watch though, by the way, when you are in a desert environment, watch drinking alcohol. Don't go out because it's very bad for your hydration. You should drink water. But now, since I'm in the studio, I'm chilling out. I'm not planning to go out. And I want just to try to enjoy a little bit my peace of mind and try to communicate with you at the same time without snapping, without going crazy. Now, this hour about love, we'll talk about several topics. First of all, solutions. We've been talking about how much in bad shape we are as a nation. I really believe we are morally, economically, and also militarily bankrupt. We have been destroyed by design, okay? When I say morally, I'm not trying to say that the government should ever legislate in any type of aspect of your morality. That's wrong. Because if you think, I never said that, and I will never say that government has the authority to legislate immorality. It's wrong. If the government pretty much has that type of power to legislate immorality, there is no difference between the Taliban. Seriously. So I'm not here to tell what the government should do or what type of legislation should do, but us as individuals, we should understand that individually and then also collectively, we are pretty much also one that will be judged. But of course, I say we'll be judged individually, but then all our actions of individuals, they're going to reflect also what this nation has become. Now, regarding the gay issues, I'm telling you really very straightforward. I support everybody's right to enjoy their life in peace, especially when their lifestyle or their choices, they do not infringe on my rights. So if a gay person, a lesbian gay person, whatever, she wants to get married, she has the right to do whatever she wants. But I have just a couple of things, though. I'm not just black and white. You have the right to marry wherever you want, but you also have the right to respect me as an individual, to do not be forced to witness your lifestyle. So, first of all, if I'm a business owner and I do not like, bake for anybody of you. Let's say, forget about gays. I just don't like your face, maybe. I don't like the way you smell. Get out of my store. Simple as that. Now, that's the situation. So, if gays people want to do whatever they want to do, they want to get this marriage, fine. I do not think the government should have any type of saying in licensing about the marriage, period. Not even for regular straight people. That's where I'm coming from. And I already told you that, we talked about last Sunday with Pastor Anderson. I mean, think about it. The idea of license for marriage licenses came up after the Civil War because they wanted to limit the access to be married between two different races. Interracial marriage was the problem for the elite class of the time. So now you're in the trap too, dear gays, friends or lesbians. Now you need to ask for a permit to get married. And people say, I need to get these benefits, I need to get the pension, I need to get the Social Security. It's called, there are different ways. Of course, unfortunately, Social Security, that's another thing, in my opinion, that is a robbery, and it's part of coercion from the government. But anything else, you pretty much can take care of that with a will, with some trust, and private contract. And then, if you need to have this private contract, with the obligations of both parties officialized and witnessed by a third party, yes, we can use the government third party or any type of third party that it's on record, like a notary, it's been notarized. This is our agreement. That's all I'm saying. So all I'm saying now, government, you should never legislate on morals. And for all the Christians out there, they think that they have the right answer to everything, and maybe you do, because I'm a Christian too. I have my beliefs too. I just don't share that much. It's my personal things. But we cannot impose our beliefs on others. Otherwise, it would be no difference from the Taliban. Seriously. So the moral police belongs maybe to Iran, but not to a free society. So that's what I'm saying. Okay? So so much for the gay marriage, so much for all this drama that for me really is supposed to be, honestly, not the main topic, because it's a distraction now, okay? It's a distraction. But they're destroying us. That's not a distraction. Yeah, we're over $18 trillion pretty much in just that. It's keep going and keep going. There are many economists out there that say that when you reach the magic number, 24 trillions, there is no return. And we know that. And this is so sad because people don't understand. They're always asking for more and the government is giving more. But there is no way to create wealth out of thin air. Remember that the biggest cancer we have is the central bank, the private central bank. They are private. They create money out of thin air, but then they charge our credit cards. They charge our credit card with real money, with the real interest. That's the reality. So let's think about that. Let's think about that because this is pretty much the core problem of everything. Now, regardless this one, we need to look in other issues. Okay. I want to find you, first of all, solution. How can we pretty much start to stop in our homes, in our families, all this drama? Maybe we cannot stop everything on the big picture. There's something that right now we can just try to still do what we can do. I will not say that to give up hope. I'm not saying to do not talk anymore with your politician, your state or federal politician. I'm just saying right now, let's look at reality. Things are getting very much sour. And there is a point that we need to start to close the wagon and circle the wagon and start to look in our own families, what we can do in our own neighbors, in our neighborhood, and that we can pretty much start to do that. That's what we can do. Now, what we can do, I have some ideas, and I also got some ideas from other people. One thing I want to remind you, we never know when things really going to get worse in a level that we have no idea. We think they're bad now, but they're talking about many economists. Then at the end of summer, this summer, the economy could completely go to a new level that we didn't see in a long, long time. And talking about real emergency situation. And all I'm saying is we have time right now. Let's use this time to prepare. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I would like to, first of all, remind you that, and this show is not about me preaching because, as I said, this is my personal opinion, my personal faith, but I share it when I think it's time to share it because I think it's also part of the solution. I don't care which religion you are. I don't care what faith you have. And if you're an atheist, that's fine. That's your right. All I'm saying, though, in my humble opinion right now, the first thing we need to start to understand, or at least start to find, it's faith. And if you don't believe in God, faith in good. Faith in good against evil. Faith in something that, in your courage to face what we have to face as humanity. Because I'm telling you, I don't care how many guns you have. I don't care how many, silver bars you have, how many beans you have. If we don't have faith right now for what we're going to face in the next few years, I don't think all this is going to matter. And I'm telling you. And I'm away from being a person of perfection, or I'm a sinner, I'm a regular guy, and I'm still learning a lot. I'm always going to learn. But the point I realized that faith is what keeps me together and motivate me. And if you don't have faith in God, that's fine. But have faith at least in the next generation. Let's try to fight. Let's try to struggle to have a sense, to pretty much try to preserve some sort of freedom and rights to who's coming after us. That's all I'm saying. Now, solutions, I talked in the past with several guests about pretty much what we can do. And I don't want to repeat myself, but I would like to find pretty much other ideas. First of all, I think everything is going to start local. And when I say local, we need to think that, we need to recreate America in our communities. And, it is no more a situation that we're going to start from Washington. For what my beliefs now are, Washington is in my county. And even in our county, we already have problems. Sometimes even the county is way too far to reach. Maybe we need to start from our own neighborhoods. And I really believe this is so important. Because at this point, let's start to, first of all, gain the most important weapon. It's knowledge. Knowledge, but must be followed by action. The fact that you are there in your house and you know everything, or you think you know everything. You got all the videos, all the books, all the information. You know the problem. You know about the Federal Reserve. You know where the elites. You know the plan of the population. Blah, blah, blah. We know this stuff. We know all the frauds, the different statutes. But what's going to really change if you do not share it? If you do not act and start to share it with others? Nothing. So we got to start to learn and share. That's the biggest weapon, to reach critical mass. So we need to start to get, first of all, if one thing you can do, even if you are not like, a person of, let's say, maybe I don't want to use the word courage, but you don't want to go out there, you don't want to start to do rally, protest, you don't want to be related to the editors, you don't want to get your name out, understand. But you got family, you got family members, you got friends. Whenever you gain some information, share it with them. And slowly is a process. We need to start to almost like, detach from the matrix all our fellow Americans. That's what we got to do. So first of all, knowledge, followed by actions. Number 2, stop supporting any type of mainstream news. I know it sounds extreme to many of you, but think about it. How they control us. To the television. The television, it's a live vision. It's not television. And it's an instrument created to control masses. Okay? This is nothing new. Don't forget that during the 60s and the 70s, they were pretty much exposed. Many of these advertisements, they were all with subliminal messages. And that was when there was analogic. Imagine now with all the new digital technology. And by the way, nothing really comes out of that TV. It's true. They give you bits and pieces of the truth, and they manipulate the truth the way they want it. But more important, think how much power we give them. If you really understand who is the enemy, you understand that the military-industrial complex is pretty much controlling both parties. And they try to push all these evil products into our bodies. They pretty much, they want a dependence. They want us sick. The big pharma companies, the vaccines, and the drugs, that they are not to prevent diseases. They are just to keep us as customers. They're not to make you, feeling finally healed. No, they want you pretty much always sick. Not too sick so you don't die, but keep you sick. So you understand all that. Why do you still have a cable TV? Why do you give them that power to Raleigh or to whatever she's on NBC? All these double mouth hypocrites, these gatekeepers. Why do you need to give them your hard money? I stopped paying personally, and more important, watching for cable years ago. That was the most important things I'd done in my American life. I started to have more time for myself, more time for also projects, reading books, finding friends, writing songs. I really think it was one of the important steps I'd done. So, quit that television. Then, number 2, I know it may sound radical, but you still believe in the party system. You believe that the Republicans are better than the Democrats, or the Democrats are for the people. Wake up. This is nothing has to do with giving you an option to choose. It is just a way to give you an option to be living in illusion. Because the moment that you have no anymore that type of illusion, you're going to snap. Say, I'm not a slave. I want to vote for something. I want to give my saying that. But you don't really give anything to say. Pretty much all you're doing, you're just supporting a scam. And I made my mistakes. I was a former Republican. And I tried to pretty much understand that there is some difference. And maybe there was. Unfortunately, there is not anymore. You tell me now, after the Republicans were elected in Congress, with the Tea Party behind, and all the new batch of people that are supposed to repeal Obamacare and try to stop Obama, tell me after this Trans-Pacific Partnership and all many other bills that have been working together with Obama, what is the difference? Nothing. And for you guys, Democrats, you tell me what is the difference between Obama and Bush. Yeah, now they got this big issue of the gay situation. This is just a distraction. The main important issues. We have more wars now. We still have the private Federal Reserve that is charging the credit card, destroying our pension, the interest rates, and everything else. And they don't forget that this Obamacare, you think was for the people? No, was for the corporations, was for this, incredible cartel of health insurance companies. Now they got the biggest profit ever. So, guys, not only we have the Patriot Act, now we also have the National Defense Authorization Act. Okay, and we still are in more wars now, more droning, more bombing than ever. So there is no difference. And what I said, what is the solution? Guess what? Sometimes, instead of just being part of the game, it's better do not play the game. Because they're pretty much the little castle made of cars is going to fall down. Anyway, point number 3. You need to start to take care of your body. Okay? We are under attack. I told you many times, and I will have a deeper show about exactly what type of chemical and biological attacks we have in our life. But we need to start to understand that a population, a sick population, cannot stand up for their rights. A sick population cannot fight a revolution because they want you sick, they want you dependent. They want you pretty much so smashed that you can barely just go to work, come back home, fill yourself with pills, go back to sleep, and to go back to work again as a slave. So you gotta start to understand that. Detoxify yourself, start to pretty much understand the food that you're eating, start to understand that, GMO, it is not just some fancy word for tree-huggers. No, GMO, genetically modified organism, it's something bad. They've proven in 6 months in lab rats, they give cancer to the intestine. Go it out. Go find out. Don't forget that fluoride in the water make you dumb, stupid, and retarded. And the government is supposed to have no business in forcibly medicating water that you're supposed to drink. Don't forget the estrogen in your meat that you think you have in meat. You think it's good for you. Well, maybe good. I don't know. I don't care. But estrogen and antibiotics and growth hormone in your meat is not good. And I'm telling you, the estrogen, you know what it is? It's a female hormone. If you eat your burger every day from meat that has estrogen, what's going to happen? You're going to be full of estrogen. Okay? So you're going to be becoming a woman. That's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But if you want to be a man, I don't think that's the right thing to do. Okay? And the growth hormone in the milk and all other things that we are facing under attack, and the aspartame give you lupus, give you brain cancer. Wake up. They want you sick. They want you dependent. So that's very important. We got to be strong. Now, water is very important. We need to start to understand that tap water, it's full of poison. Comes with all this chlorine, and federally mandate, and fluoride, many cases. You got to find a way to pretty much filter it. Water, it's life. They want you dependent. And you drink every day. I don't care how strong you are. You must drink every day, okay? Unless you're made of metal. That's the bottom line. So find a way to have source of clean water. There are a lot of good purifier. Seems like simple, and it is. Our freedom starts from ourselves. You need to start to create our own independence in our own family, in our own place where we live, wherever we are. So, good food, good water. Try to start to plant food. I mean, that's the biggest act of terrorism against the New World Order. And I've been sarcastic here, but not really. They want you so dependent on their chain of food. That's why they are creating so many, local ordinances to try to limit the access of food. Look, in Visalia we had, a few weeks ago, you cannot even have a little baby goat to get milk in the privacy of your home. Or many other municipalities, it's illegal to plant tomatoes instead of flowers. Think about it. They are afraid at the moment that you are independent. So grow your own food. And listen, guys, if you don't need to have a big orchard or a big greenhouse, there are vases out there, especially if you live in an apartment. Instead of having on your balcony, instead of have flowers, just put food, salad. You can grow salad like wheat, pretty much. You save money and you eat healthier, okay? Now, another very important thing, junk food. I'm not here to give you health advices, but think about it. Talking about they want you sick, they want you dependent. You get all this garbage with corn syrup, with different, preservatives and aluminum and crap that you can put inside MSG. I mean, You don't want to eat that stuff, okay? You're going to look better, feel better, be healthier, and fight better, okay? Anyway, try also to avoid vaccines. I'm not here a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advices, but I tell you, I spoke with doctors. We had doctors on the show many times, and you know very well, after you do your own research, there are a lot of documentaries out there, and you will see pretty much what the vaccine does to you. And just don't forget, if the vaccine were so great, why the Bush administration gave immunity to this vaccine industry? You cannot even sue them back in case you got damages. We know how many now, the percentage of different diseases. Look how many children now they get. 1 on 3 children, they have all these problems after the vaccines that we never had before. I mean, there are statistics over statistics. The mercury in the vaccine and the different type of viruses. I mean, if you think it's good, that's fine. Go ahead, help yourself, but do not ever try to force something on me. Because I really believe this is so wrong, and I hear this sometimes even from legislators, local legislators, that they are pretty good on many other issues when it comes down to individual responsibility and freedoms. And then they start to go crazy over the vaccines. So listen, the point is, if you are vaccinated, you believe that the vaccine is covering you. That's why you have a vaccine. So, where is the logic that you need to force something on me? Where is that logic? I mean, this is completely wrong. So that's all I'm saying. But at the same time, I'm not here to try to be right. I just say, do what you want. I want to do what I think is right for my body. At the same time, I would like to pretty much remind you that there is a lot of information out there. Do not be afraid to find out what's really going on with the vaccine. So something I think we need to look into that, okay? Then, military. I support the idea to have a strong military to defend our country, to defend America, to defend our borders, but not to become the New World Order, the global government police force. And that's what we are. I talked to you about that in other shows. Unfortunately, the reality, my friends, is that we don't go to fight for our freedoms, because I didn't say that, but General Butler, one of the most decorated generals in the history, during World War I said, if our soldiers should be used only pretty much to defend our borders and to defend our Bill of Rights. Simple as that. He wrote a book, War is a Racket. I invite you to read it. And even for people that, they're still unfortunately in this illusion that we need to go around the world to fight these evil terrorists, I'm telling you guys, wake up. First of all, we have terrorists in our government. Wake up. The terrorists are already here. And more important, we created, not me and you, but the CIA. And this is not a conspiracy. It's plain mainstream media. They've been creating terrorists. Okay? ISIS is being created 3 years ago or so started with Bush and then continue with the Obama administration and been funded the last couple of years, and 3 years with the Obama administration to try to pretty much take over Syria. Guys, Al-Qaeda, it was created by the CIA during the 70s. Okay? Osama bin Laden used to be a guy working for us. We prop Saddam. We created him. So that's the problem. They create a problem, and then they create a disaster, and then they need to give you the solution. Okay? So we need to start to wake up and learn about this. Okay? So if you want to join the military, I'm sorry. As much as I love the idea, I told you already when I came to America, I wanted to join the military. But if I have a child, I say, no, join the militia. Join the local militia. Because unfortunately now, when you're under the military, you take an oath to serve no more America, but you will go under martial law, court-martial, if you do not comply with also global government. Like, for example, I had here as my guest, Michael New's father. The soldier will refuse to serve under the insignia of the United Nations. He got pretty much arrested, and he had to leave the army. Okay? So So that's the story. Now the important thing, you need to start to be independent. Start to stock up on food and water. And as I said, grow food and water wherever you are. The first weapon is to be independent. You are independent. They cannot control you that easy anymore. Because normally they will start to control you with compliance. You need to comply. You will beg to go to them and ask for help. Okay? Then very important, I already said that, weapons. I don't care. You don't need to join special forces, but you need to start to have some understanding that the republic, this republic, and your right, and your family, and yourself, your next generation, our next generation, needs us. And who's going to watch the watchers? Who's going to defend us from evil? The important thing now we need to understand that we need to start to get the concept to not just look for ourselves, but also look for each other. That's the way we can stop evil in our communities. But first of all, how can you motivate a community or enough people to even risk their lives? You need to pretty much make them understand the truth, share the truth. So, and then when you understand the truth, it's going to be a very much natural process. Start to learn, share, improve, and get, the tools you need to recreate America in this small community where you live. I think that's probably the most powerful thing we can do. This is just my humble lesson, what I learned right now. Okay? So, what else? I mean, this is pretty much, and this is my humble opinion. If you have any other ideas, please, I really would like to have you on the show. And I'm going to have right now a caller from Kentucky, okay? I like to hear your input. And if you say, you know what, Luca, you say a bunch of crazy things, I would like to debate you, great. I love that. I love that. And I promise I'm not going to be like O'Reilly that I talked over you. I'll let you talk. Just be, civil. Just, use a language that we can use on the radio. And don't use violence, because we are here logically, and not call each other names. Of course, if you start to tell me that I don't have the right to own a gun, or you have no right to own a property, you know what? I'm not going to call your name. I'm going to just tell you that you're an idiot. An idiot, you know why? Because I'm not going to put up with you. You think I'm an idiot. You think I'm going to surrender my guns or my freedom or my property to you? Yes, you're an idiot. And this is not an insult. This is just the reality. Because I'm going to fight back. I'm going to stand the line. Okay? So we respect each other, but let's try not to get on each other's rights. Okay? That's all I'm trying to say. Now, before we go to the interview that I'm going to have this incredible guy that I really enjoy, I would like to remind you that what I do, one of the things I do for a living, I write songs. Okay? And people say, oh my God, always talking about your songs. Yes, because this is pretty much what brings the show to you. Okay? If the show is free, and I'm free to speak pretty much about everything I want, this can happen because I have part of my life is paid through my songs, through my music. So I invite you also to go there to my website, zanna.us, and download at least a song. Don't be a cheap bastard, okay? And I appreciate it. That's what I'm saying. I really appreciate it. So speaking about songs, I'm going to play for you right now a quick song, and then we're going to go with this incredible Facebook friend that is also a very smart guy, and also he knows many languages. And I think we have a lot of things in common. Don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna.
escape, but I don't know why. Want to escape, but I don't know why. The other side of my heart, shout my sins to the wind. Side of my heart, somebody will love me. Never gonna cry your breath. Never gonna cry your side of my heart. Side of my heart, side of my heart. Never, ever gonna die. Never, ever gonna cry. The side of my heart. The other side of my heart is never, never gonna cry. Never, never gonna cry. The other side of my heart. The other side of my heart. Never, never gonna cry. Never, never gonna cry. The other side.
Okay, this is Luca, Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on KTOX 1340 AM and also on United States FM network. And, normally I don't take phone calls. The reason why, because, I'm not lazy, but there is so much information. I'm trying to bring guests. But I really think it's so important to have the feedback from people that are listening to the show, or at least just people that they want to say their personal experience on matters. So I'm trying to go back into taking phone calls. Today I have a friend of mine on Facebook. A guy is a very smart person, also knows several languages. I'm very impressed that he wants to say some input about the situation with this Confederate flag. Justin, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Nice to meet you in real life, Justin. I try to use Facebook to reach each other, to find each other, and I tell you, even I know it's an instrument of control, pretty much by the government, the CIA, to see what we're doing, but at the same time I try to use it for our own advantage, and I'm always so thankful to find people like you. I really appreciate your friendship on Facebook.
Likewise.
Very good. So tell us a little bit about you. First of all, where are you located? Which part of the world are you living in right now?
I live in Prestonsburg, Kentucky.
Okay, so you are pretty much in the heart of the South of the state.
In Appalachia, yes.
Yeah, I mean it's
eastern part where West Virginia and Virginia run into Kentucky, basically.
And I've been talking about pretty much all the things that are happening to us in the last few weeks, and among those also the way to try to rewrite history. And to distort important part of our historic, heritage parts, like the flag, this Confederate flag that even me as an immigrant, I better know that this is not about race. It was about the 10th Amendment, was about the sovereignty of the states, was about that the union that was created by the states, these colonies, it was pretty much destroyed. Because at the end of the day, it's supposed to be a union based on free will, where all the sovereign states had the right to refuse themselves if they didn't find the conditions that they wanted. Instead, pretty much, President Lincoln proved that it's like the mafia. Once you're in, you never get out. And even on paper, they couldn't get out. At the end of the day, who has the longer stick, write the rules. So tell me a little bit about what you think about this situation with this Confederate flag and this hysterical, politically correctness to try to remove everything that looks like a Confederate flag. Is this a Confederate flag about hate? Is it about slavery? Tell me your input, please.
It most definitely is not about hatred or slavery. And as you pointed out, it has to do with the states' rights. When this country was originally formed, the states, the colonies, joined of their own free will. And with the proviso that anytime they wanted to, they could secede. So when they did secede, it was perfectly legit. They had every right to do so. And Lincoln, who I consider to be a tyrant, just wasn't going for it. And he had one thing in mind, and that was to completely take over the South. And that's what he did, because the North had more resources. Quite frankly, they had just more natural materials, more men, etc. This was men, such as my second great-grandfather, Hiram Sexton, who served in two different units, if I may. First, he served in Company D of the 37th Virginia Cavalry, and then later he joined Company C, the 25th Virginia Infantry.
Wow. Wow, very, very impressive.
Out of Scott County, Virginia, yes.
And
he was a poor farmer, and he was about 3 shades darker than I am, so he was a pretty swarthy guy, you know. This wasn't anybody who somebody would take a look at him and consider him to be white, you know. We're Melungeons, you know, dark-skinned mountain folk from Appalachia. His homeland was invaded, and that, in my opinion, the most everyday, you know, Confederate person, that was their viewpoint. These people are invading our land, burning our houses down, raping our women, killing us, stealing the products of our labor. They're the enemy.
Exactly. You know, and there is Justin, unfortunately, you know very well, history is written by the winners, you know, and it's so sad, you know, so sad to see a majority of people out there going through pretty much these public education camps called public schools, that they pretty much just don't even bother to read more than what they've been given, these textbooks. And you know very well, you know, the official story, it's all about slavery. It's all about the great Abraham Lincoln, you know, saving the slavery but it wasn't about that. It was about tariffs. It was about state sovereignty. It was about resources, as you were saying. And pretty much it was also about the point that finally, and I've been sarcastic here, this free union that's supposed to be a union of independent and sovereign states was destroyed. And now, you know, that's one of the things I don't like about the Pledge of Allegiance. And people, don't get me wrong, you know, you can say whatever you want, but when they say, you know, indivisible, that was never part of our original Constitution. Was never part of our original union. You know, was these United States, not the United States. And we've been brainwashed. And let's not forget also, this is not the topic, but the Pledge of Allegiance was written by, anyway, a socialist. Go check it out. So we need to start to have an open mind, start to learn, and get away from this matrix and start to really find out what's going on. So tell me a little bit about, now, in your state, in Kentucky right now, the average person out there, how does it feel about this politically correctness, removing the Confederate flag?
Well, the funny thing is, on the local level, most of the people around here vote Democrat. But a rural country Democrat is very, very different from an urban, you know, northern Democrat. What I mean by that is they tend to have views that are more considered to be conservative for the most part. This is an extremely impoverished area. It was a coal mining economy, completely destroyed by the EPA and their strict regulations. Mm-hmm. So when coal went away, so did everything else.
Wow.
So a lot of the people are dependent on government assistance. That being said, so they're not going to vote any way that's going to cut off their assistance. I see a lot of pride in the Confederate flag around here. There's 2 very, very active Sons of Confederate veterans encampments near me, one here in Floyd County and one in the next county over in Pike County, which is where the Hatfield and McCoys were at. I haven't really met anybody around here that did not have some respect for the Confederate flag.
You know, this is so important because I tell you, I feel so, this is bigger than it seems. This is now, today they have the power, these people, the media, and more important, the politically correctness, because it's our fault. We let it happen, okay? And, of course, the scary thing now, we see corporations following the orders of this government. And that's pretty much the definition of fascism, you know, the union between corporation and government. That pretty much today, they can ban one flag. People do not understand. Tomorrow they can ban one book, or they can ban one word. I mean, we're supposed to have a First Amendment, and never, ever these things happen in this country. Even, of course, we went through rough times. I really believe we are going through another level of darkness. And I'm really, you know, I don't want to use the word fear because, unfortunately, you know, I don't really, at the end of the day, I'm not even fearful. But I fear for the next generation after us. If we do not do something, they're going to leave, and I think we're going to leave too. We're not going to go that far. In 1984, they are rewriting history, Justin. What do you think?
Yeah, and as I saw so many times online, it was meant to be a warning, not a playbook. And as you pointed out a moment ago, this is part of something bigger. This is all part of of Marxism, quite frankly. And the goal of Marxism is to completely overturn society in order to fashion the one that you want, which, as we know, the leftists, the society that they envision for America and the world is not something that's going to be fun for people like you and me who like individual liberty. So the average American is a white European, the majority of the population. So they have to destroy their heritage, their culture. Everybody else is allowed to have pride in their history, not in a like a hubris or a chauvinism type sense, just normal pride. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. No, I understand. It's
everybody else is allowed to have pride in their heritage except white Europeans.
I mean, at least let's look. You exactly say right. And this is for me. It's kind of shocking because people don't start to get at me like, oh, you're racist. I was even born here. I came here almost as a spectator, and I'm laughing when I see, to this week we have a black heritage. Okay, black heritage. Then we have a brown heritage. Okay. Then we have Asian heritage. Okay, cool. Now, I mean, what is a white heritage? If you start to say that, you're going to be called yourself a racist. This is insane, the level of political correctness.
White supremacist, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, everybody got heritage. I think it's cool. Everybody should be proud of who they are, and we respect each other. We respect other races, but at the same time, not because, there are some chosen races out there. We all should be treated equally. That's what I think about it. And Lisa, Justin, I want to thank you very much for your input, and thank you very much. By the way,
having me on.
You are also a very interesting guy. This is nothing to do with the flag now, just a human level. You studied several languages. You also speak pretty fluent, at least you write. We never really spoke before. Italian. Where did you learn languages? At school?
Ever since I was a kid, I've just been interested in history and languages, and I noticed that I had much broader access to information through language and various people. In the high school, I went to St. Augustine High School down in Florida. There was a disproportionate amount of exchange students going there. So I had Bulgarians, Italians, Germans, Brazilians.
Wow.
Then I was hanging out with Russians. So I had a wide range of people from different countries, most of which most Americans have never heard of, that I got to hang out with on a daily basis, and it was pretty cool.
Very good, very good.
In a very voluntary sense, not in a politically correct sense,
Yeah. So tell me something in Italian before we shut down and we go on with the show.
Viva la indipendencia.
To forget you, I know I will regret you. If there is a way, I'm gonna find it. I want to forget you. I wish I'd never met you. If there is a way, I'm gonna find it. It's been so long since I felt what you made me feel. It'll be too long before I feel it again. It's been so long since I found somebody like you. It'll be too long before I'll love again. I could just tell you that we could just be friends. I could just tell you that it's not the end. Just say a simple lie, but I cannot hurt you. Oh, baby, I'd rather die. I want to forget you. I know I will regret you. If there is a way, I'm gonna find it. I want to forget you. I wish I'd never met you. There is a way, I'm gonna find it. All right. for an hour with you, I would give all my life. For a life with you, I would give my eternity. Feel my love all around you. Let's live our life as a dream. Let our emotions free. What will remain of our regrets? I want to forget you. I know I will regret you. If there is a way, I'm gonna find it. I want to forget you. I wish I never met you. If there is a way, I'm gonna find it. I want to forget you. I know I will regret you. If there is a way, I'm gonna find it. I want to forget you. I wish I never met you. If there is a way, I'm gonna find it.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman,
I'm not afraid.
and a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth,
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna
I'm not afraid.
and his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Okay, guys, that pretty much was today's show. I don't even like to call it show because this show sounds almost like something to entertain, to having fun. This is like a journey. It's like almost like a torture sometimes, just going through all this information. So, news. It's like, I live it on my skin, and I suffer sometimes. But I do it with love, and I really hope always for the better. I want to be positive, even when things are bad. Just the fact that we are getting awareness, it's a start. And, I rather to be today in the position I am, aware, sometimes worried, sometimes a little stressed out, than be like a person that even can even see it coming. And it's like, you're walking around, you're like a sheep, and you're like walking around the butcher, and you think that the noise of metal, it's like some sort of a musical instrument. Instead, it's pretty much sharpening the tools to slaughter you. And we are pretty much at this point. So that's all I'm saying. It's very rough sometimes. But we are here together. And I want to say something. I never met you. Probably you just hear my voice. And maybe, who knows? Maybe you listened to me once, or maybe you listened to me several times. I'm starting to get really a lot of repeat customers. I call them repeat listeners. And I really appreciate your friendship, your emails. I feel like I'm starting to have a really great connection. And it's like I'm talking to friends, like I'm talking to people that I already knew. And that's all I'm saying. It's a great opportunity. It's a great honor for me to be here with you. And thank you for listening. That's all I'm saying. And I really hope together, we're all in this together. People say, whatever, I'm not with you. I agree. We are individuals. But at the end of the day, we're all going to face consequences for our actions or inactions. So I really believe, and I hope, even sometimes with our differences, we can look at the important common things that they're going to pretty much change our lives. Now, another thing I want to say, and I say this every hour, okay? I'm not ashamed of that. This is not like the government. This is not like NPR, pretty much get your money out of your tax dollar. It's private. This radio station, it's privately owned. And it needs your help. So support the sponsors. And if you are a sponsor, you want to support the show, please call the station, okay? And also myself, I'm an independent producer, and you can support my show very simply. Just go to my website. There are many, but I'll give you one now. It's called Zanna, Zanna, ZannaArt.com, ZannaArt.com. And I tell you, if you go there, you can see more than just music. You also can find the paintings. I have now postcards that I'm going to be uploading and different things. You know, I also do leather creations. I really enjoy to create things, okay? So I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. And God's willing, I will talk to you next Sunday. And if for any reason you don't hear from me next Sunday, well, think about it. Something may happen, you know, maybe I'm on vacation. But if I'm on vacation, I'll let you know. I'm feeling some strange feelings lately, like to being followed, and my phone, of course, always been clicking several times during important conversations, like interviews, and whenever I say keywords. I hope it's just my paranoia, and I really hope that. But in case something happens, you don't hear from me, well, I did not go to Hawaii, or I did not leave the country to go to some exotic locations. I enjoy to be in the state of Arizona, and I also would like to remind you that I am a pretty happy person, regardless the sad news of reality that we're living in, and I will never commit any type of suicide. So, just for the record, just to let you know what's going on here, who has ears can hear, and if you don't have ear, whatever, go wash your ears, okay? Anyway, guys, you've been listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with a lot of love, and a lot of freedom, and a lot of guns. That was Luca Zanna for today's broadcasting of June the 28th, 2015. Don't forget to go also to the website, lovegunsfreedom.com, for the archives. And if you like the show, share it with your friends. Ciao.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.fm network.